And good evening, and welcome to another exciting show. And tonight, well, it's Sunday, hang on, what is it? 23rd of November, and it's 8 o'clock UK time. And Patrick, what time is it where you are in
2 p.m.
Wisconsin? 2 p.m. Wisconsin, and Christ knows what time it is the other side of America, but I think it's about 12 o'clock midday over the other side of America. And in Australia, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. And in Fockham, we're half an hour back, so it's about 7:30 in the evening. So there we go. Fockham time. Well, we're due to be the what do you call it? Farmer is due to be on. The bowler hat farmer is due on. And where the heck is he? He's either getting a note from his parents, or shall we all hold hands and have a séance and try and get through? Are you there, bowler hat farmer?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Well, as you can hear in the background, we got his Royal Hanorak here. Evening, his Royal Hanorak.
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Patrick. Good evening, all in chat there.
And we got Patrick, our cheese ambassador, all the way from Wisconsin. And I'm extremely envious tonight because the temperature in Wisconsin is about 3 degrees higher than it is in Great Britain. So, yeah.
Yes.
So almost tropical out there, then, Patrick.
Well, 10C. Yeah. Not that bad. Not tropical, but tolerable. I've got the window wide open.
Yes.
And sun.
Well, we'll give the bowler hat farmer a couple of minutes to get on. And if he doesn't get on, I know his address. So why don't we all go over there and say, where the heck are you? No, actually, I might phone him up and say, where the heck are you? Because he's normally quite good with getting on the show, but unless he's forgotten, I sent him the link and everything. So
maybe he's had something come up, as it were. Maybe there's something happening on his farm.
That's what happened on the James Bond film, wasn't it? Do you remember that? And they censors let it go. They didn't realise it. He's in bed with this beautiful woman next to him, and he picks up the phone and he says, "Yes, yes." He says, "Well, I'm afraid I can't come along because something's just come up." But we'll start talking about farming and food, and we'll give it 10 minutes, and I'll give him a ring and say, "Where the heck are you?" Now, I heard of something. It's on my Telegram channel for those of you that are on Telegram. And first of all, I did an experiment this week, and my prediction was right. Every time I slag off the NHS, I lose subscribers every time without fail. So I did it on Telegram, and sure enough, my subscribers went down.
You must be hitting the truth, then.
Well, that's right.
Because you only lose subscribers if you're telling the truth. As my friend Joseph Aquavivas found out, because he's on channel 13 or 14 on YouTube doing gematria.
Really?
He's got to be hitting the nail on the head, otherwise they wouldn't keep blocking him.
Well, I've actually been accused of putting people at risk for criticising the NHS. Someone that has actually been saved by the NHS. Oh, bloody hell. Pickle that person. They're probably the only one. And if it wasn't for the NHS, they would be dead. And me ragging it off, I'm a terrible, evil, nasty person, even though my granddad got killed by them. My parents got killed by them. My girlfriend got pumped off by them. But the NHS are just fine, aren't they? You know, so that subscriber rate will probably, yeah, it is. It is. It's big pharma. I mean, if you get mangled, say, in a road accident, that'll be fantastic. A&E, they'll probably be okay. But anything else, tablet for this, tablet for that, tablet for this, tablet for that, and everything else like that, you know. So that's the way it is. Anyway, on about farming and food generally. On my Telegram channel, there was an item that I'm not sure if I put it on there or somebody else, about what they're doing in France. And the local people are taking over shops, empty shops, I hasten to add, and there's no money involved. and people come along and they might bring some rice, cans of something they want to get rid of, something that's been repaired, anything like that. And it's an exchange area and there's no money involved. So people that can't afford to survive, they can't eat, they'll go along there and they'll pick up some rice or they'll pick up a can of something. But it keeps people's dignity because I think there's a way of giving, and I hate this sort of, I've got lots of...
Did we lose? We've lost you. Yeah, we lost you.
You didn't even mention the NHS either.
Really? Seriously? Have you lost me?
You're back.
Yeah. You're back now.
How weird. I didn't notice anything had gone wrong. It just...
You went on a poise, and then you came back. It was as though you were being controlled briefly there, Eric.
They've got to me at last. It was mentioning the NHS that did it. Klaxons have got off at YouTube HQ. That's what's happened. But I was going to say, did you catch what I was saying about what they're doing in France?
You're saying about the people who got nothing can go and get stuff.
That's right.
Not stuff.
That's right. Yeah, but it's not necessarily poor people that's going in. It's people that go in there to give. And someone that's rich might pick something up and then put something and exchange it for something else. It's a kind of a swap place. But if you haven't got money with food and that, and it's better than putting food in these bloody places in supermarkets. I just don't trust them.
And if you're an employer, it's a good place to go and find workers if that's the case. Because a lot of those people might not have jobs, and that's why they go there.
Precisely. But you were telling me something fantastic that you're doing
at work. We have a cupboard. Yes. Yeah, we have an actual food shelf, cupboard type thing, and bring food in, and anybody that wants it. Because most people there aren't making the best wages. I'm not making the worst, but recently they got rid of EBT because of the government shutdown. They stopped working, as far as I know. And
EBT, can you explain that to the non-Americans, please?
Yeah, it's the food program. So they give out cards to poor people to buy food with, and they get go to usually it's like a co-op or a food grocery store, and they are able to buy food with it. With the government gives a amount of money to the grocery
over here.
Right.
Oh, I've got it.
So it's not as easily available, and it's just a way to get people to eat, get people some food. And just bring in your food and leave it, and if anybody wants it, they take it.
This is similar to what they're doing in France, but I think it's a wonderful idea because I don't like corporations. I mean, yours is a small firm, but I don't like these big corporations doing it. I find there's something a bit sleazy about it. And I mean, if there's some poor sod playing the banjo or busking or even begging, I'll put my hand in my pocket because I feel sorry for them, and we don't know what hell they're going through in their minds or how they got there. They're not all lazy. They're not all lazy layabouts. And I found it's mainly the English that are homeless. The ones that are sleeping on the steps and things like that. I mean, I gave some money to who I'm sure was an army veteran in Hoddesdon. It's a freezing cold day, and he's so polite. Thank you so much, sir. It's very kind of you. And I said, I'm humbled with your, and this is the least I could do, because I think the person that gives should be humbled in a way, because I can come back to a nice warm bed and that poor sod's got to sleep on the street, So Aunt Sunny's come out with an interesting one. So what are you doing to replace the food stamps program in the USA? Are they just leaving those dependent people high and dry?
Well, to be honest, I don't pay too close attention to the news. I just know that there's a government shutdown, and they're talking about how they're taking away EBT from people. That some may not need it. There's always the scammers and trying to. But at the same time, I think a lot of the people that are on it aren't the type of people that are able to support themselves. Usually, they're people on the margins, and because most people, that have a job don't need it. So, and they're kind of the outcast type people to begin with. So, yeah, and we don't know what's going on. I don't know anybody that uses EBT. Maybe I do, and they don't tell me. But for all I know, maybe it's still going. But it's a better way to do it just amongst ourselves at work. Because not everybody has a good home life. A lot of people I know don't.
You're right.
I still think it's pretty sad that we're in a world where we're apparently really, really, really well off, and people are in that situation in the first place. I think without this slave system that we were in, we'd all be free and we'd all be equal and we'd all have food, wouldn't we? It's only the monetary system that gets people into this predicament in the first place, ultimately.
Well, that's the problem. And also, before the Industrial Revolution, almost everybody did have a job, and if someone was poor, the community would help them. And I think we've been led astray, and been told a lot of balderdash, shall we say, about history, as if it was so bad years ago. Yes, there were bad parts of history, but there were some good parts of history. But we live in a world that's devised by psychopaths. And before we go any further, New C Brown 6352 was the first person on the show in chat, and as it's quite an established thing to do now, the first person in chat, not actually in the studio but in chat, gets a choice of a celebrity or MP of their choice that we can blow a raspberry at. So
it's an honour.
It's an honour, yeah. So there we go. So new UC Brown 6352. You've got that marvellous honoured choice. So anybody you fancy doing that. Anyway, let's phone up the bowler hat farmer and find out whether
live on air.
Live on air. Yes. So
this is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
It is.
Lifeline.
Before we go any further, a very important message coming through. All the buggers. Right. All what do we say? All the government, all the celebs that you don't like. That's the American version to the other ones. And apparently, what is it? That way is the polite way of doing it, and that way is the rude way. And did you know where the two-finger salute came from?
Wasn't it between France and Britain or England? Yeah.
Well, when the French captured the archers, they used to decapitate their two fingers so they couldn't use their bow and arrow. But when we captured French prisoners, they used to do that to show they've still got the two fingers. So there we go. I don't know where the one finger one came from. That's American, isn't it? I don't quite know.
I don't know either.
It looks rude, though, whatever it is.
It does.
And did you know, if you hitchhike, I think it's in Norway or Finland, and you do that, that is exceptionally rude in that country, and you get a smack in the face. And in Greece, when I went to Greece, we naturally go, hello, and that type of thing. That means shit in your face in Greece. And you don't say, hello, bastard, boom, Because I crossed the traffic lights. Which is very rare in Athens. Someone stopped their car and I crossed the road and went, thank you. And this bloke gave me a filthy look. Anyway, let's phone a bowler hat farmer and see where he is. Now, where are we?
Do it like a Chris Tarrant one then, to say, I've got Patrick here at the moment and he's on £25,000.
Phone a friend.
He's stuck with this question. Where the hell are you?
Hang on. I don't think. Have I got his phone number? Yeah, was it? I don't think I got his phone number.
Have you sent a random message to somebody in the street saying you're on the show tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. He must be here somewhere. Hang on. I can't find his number. Ooh-ah!
He's probably completely oblivious. Forgot it.
He probably has forgotten it, yeah. let's go down the list here. It's going to take me a bit of time.
He's out milking cows.
I hope he's keeping warm because it's bloody freezing out there today. It was nice to see a bit of sunshine.
Oh, he's a farmer. He can hack it.
Well, I could phone him if I had his number, but I don't have his number because it's all done by bloody. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I've only got his email address. Oh dear, what a show!
We'll get you through the show, Chris.
Yeah, sod it. So he should have come on, but he hasn't. You know, and I sent him all the details and everything. So I don't know where the bleeding hell he's got to. But I know I'll send him an email.
There you go.
Here we go.
Sometimes emails work as a messaging thing. You can send them a text message too.
Yes.
Unless you got him on Messenger on Facebook, for example.
Yeah.
If he's on Messenger, that should ping.
He's not on Facebook, I don't think. So I'm just composing it. So, you know, but it might have been an emergency. You just never know with farming. So, you know.
Yep. Life comes at you quick. Oh, well.
Put down, hello, Mark. We are live. Where are you? Send. Well, that's the best I can do. So where the heck is he? You know. Now Paul Britton said you'll have to wing it, Eric. Yep, that's it. Well, we're professional, you know. We can wing it, can't we? You know.
But, we'll talk about transport and cheese and all sorts of stuff. We every topic's available on here, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, Mark had another Mark Anthony, I think it was, had a question for the Bowl Rat Farmer. And what does he think about the benefits of drinking raw milk? So, and we'll open that one up. So,
what do we think? What do we think?
Yeah, because you're a farmer, aren't you, Patrick? So, what's your views on drinking raw milk? Is it legal in America?
Oh, it's legal. It's legal, but you could buy it. Yeah, we have typically, if you wanted raw milk in my nearby village or town, you would go to the Amish because they're more willing to do business with you person to person. Yeah. You go to one of these bigger dairy farms and they'll just kind of look at you like, oh man, then their time's more valuable, it seems, to them because they're running heavy machinery and all sorts of stuff. Mechanized farm work.
Is it legal? I mean, in this,
it's legal.
In England, you can get raw milk, providing you go to the farm and get it.
Yeah, the same here.
You're not allowed to deliver it.
They don't. Well, I don't know if they're not allowed to deliver it here, but they definitely, the markets, like the local supermarkets, the state steps in and says, well, you can't do it. No, you can't sell it as a retail product. And it's like, well, I think I would do something like create a private club and do it that way. That would be the best thing. But we don't have supermarkets that sell raw milk.
Oh, same here. And in Scotland, it's banned. You can't buy raw milk for love nor money. You just can't buy it. Well, you have to go over the border to England to get it. And apparently, air guns, I got this wrong. I said crossbows. I was wrong. I'm sorry about that on Telegram. I made a mistake there. It's air guns have got to be licensed in Scotland, but not in England. So Scottish people come over the border, buy their air guns and go back. Yeah. Now, Warhead Rex says stealth farm networks, it is illegal in some states.
What is? Oh, illegal to sell raw milk?
Raw milk, yeah. I should imagine, and I'm only guessing now, I haven't got no proof, that California, they've probably clamped down on it because they're slightly left of Chairman Mao, aren't they? With their
maybe, but they have a lot more produce over there.
Yeah,
they're one of the biggest dairy producers in the United States, behind Wisconsin, maybe even ahead of Wisconsin for all I know. They have lush farms. I have a cousin that lives out north of San Francisco that does organic farming, and she's been doing that for decades. It's one of the best places for growing food is California in general.
It's always hot there, isn't it? California, it's
hot,
well,
and
lots of parts.
lots of water. In certain places, there's like, for instance, Napa Valley is one of the biggest wine producing places in the world, and as far as America's concerned, it's our Bordeaux region, Napa Valley near San Francisco. Yeah,
but would it be described as the Garden of America? Because Kent is described as the Garden of England, but that is not quite true, because in reality, more produce comes from Lincolnshire than Kent. But I guess Kent used to be the Garden of England, because that was where all the apples and...
It depends on the crop.
Yeah.
Certain things in California grow that don't grow in the Midwest, but the Midwest grows probably more soybean and corn, maize, and I would say wheat, that sort of thing. Staple crops.
Asperger's Fudge says the bowler hat farmer is on Facebook. Yeah, I can't really go on to Facebook. And
everybody listening in chat, go to the Bowler Hat Farmer's Facebook page and ask him, where is he? Get on here.
Where the hell are you? Yes, come online. We're waiting for you.
Let's give him a big troll army. Facebook.
Big troll army. We get
That's
army
right.
Of trolls and go and just post a message. Where were you? Come on.
So this is your bottom. This is my boot, and that boot is going to go up your bottom. Go shooting towards your bottom if you don't come on. Yes. Now, Asperger's Fudge has said in Scotland they fry the milk first, because that's the place where they fried. Do you get Mars bars in America?
Yeah. They fry them here too at the state fair. They dip them in batter and fry them. Deep fat fry them.
I can only imagine
on a stick.
I can only imagine you go in and buy one of them, and there's an ambulance stood outside waiting for you as you come back out with it.
Heart attack on a stick.
Yep. I mean, I actually find if I bite into, I mean, I don't eat anything with sugar in it now, but when I did eat sugary stuff, you bite into a Mars bar and it gives you toothache. It used to give me toothache. It's horrible.
I have to say though, although I don't eat Mars bars, I don't buy any of that stuff these days anymore. But when I was younger, and put a Mars bar in the fridge or sometimes in the freezer, I'll tell you what, they're quite nice out of the fridge, I have to say, sometimes. But
what about Toblerones?
They last longer.
Do you get Toblerones?
What?
Toblerones. Do you get them in America?
Toblerone, the Swiss chocolate. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I had a bit of a fancy for them once upon a time. Swiss stuff's usually pretty good. By the way, raw milk is legal in California. Sorry. Anyway, carry on.
I figured as much.
Toblerone to me is it always reminds me of what I think they do is actually go around and sweep up sort of the bottom of a rabbit's cage, and then put it all mix it all together. That's where you get the nuts of the chocolate with it. There you go. That's put you off that for life.
That looks like what's that they sell in Indian restaurants? What is it? It looks like some of the contents of what they swept up, doesn't it?
And then as time goes on, it seems like everything gets smaller. These candy bars, the way they used to be, and the prices go up.
Yeah.
Do you get things like wagon wheels over in America?
What,
Patrick? A thing called wagon wheels.
Tell, what is it?
It's a wagon wheel.
Well, it's a wagon. Oh yeah, we've got those old ones.
Biscuit.
It used to be a biscuit with.
Speaking of Amish, yes, we do. We have got horse and carriage and buggy. Yeah.
No, but it was a chocolate biscuit with it got chocolate around the outside of it and some marshmallow in between the two slices of biscuit. And at one time of day they'd be about the size of a small dinner plate.
Yeah.
Now
they were big.
Now they're literally the size of about a 10 pence piece now, aren't they?
Oh, they're very small. And also, if you were a teenager and you bought a wagon wheel, you're guaranteed to get acne, which was pretty good, wasn't it? You know, it's like, get zits all over your face. You just mention the word wagon wheels, you go, you know. Now, Paul Britton said, Hurdlebrook sell raw Jersey milk online, not cheap, but a nice treat. Yes, it might be pasteurized. There's there's 3 raw milk farms in Hertfordshire that I know of. Nearest one to me is about 8 or 9 miles away, so that's about 18-mile round trip, which is not really worth getting in the car and driving 18 miles to just get some milk. So I don't drink milk unless it's raw milk. I won't get it from the supermarket because pasteurized. Because apparently, if you put milk in your coffee or tea, that pasteurizes it. The heat of the tea.
Yeah.
So, really,
defeats the purpose.
That's right, defeats the
of the raw
purpose.
milk.
And why people buy this sort of, what do they call it, semi-skimmed? I mean, you might as well buy tap water.
You know
I mean-
what? Our neighboring farmer who has a dairy farm, it's funny because he's got a huge dairy farm, hundreds of gallons of milk, throughout the week he produces. And we see him in the local grocery store coming out with a couple jugs of skim milk. And it's like, what are you doing? You've got all the access to milk that you
Yeah.
want or need, and you're drinking skim milk that you buy in the store. What is up
I
with
know.
that?
It's just,
I wonder if he's limited on what he can. I wonder if they actually monitor how much he actually makes.
I don't
I
know.
presume if he's in the pocket with the supermarket.
They're
they say,
good people. They're good people. It just seems odd to me that you got access to it as a farmer. It's like, like when I had pigs. If I went out and bought a big thing of bacon from somebody else, it's like, well, why do I need to buy pork or anything if I've got my own pork?
well, precisely. I mean, it's like round the corner. It's about 15 minutes walk. Nice walk to a farm which sells eggs and chickens and all kinds of stuff. 15 minutes walk. And I got my neighbour some eggs from there, and she said, these eggs, shells are so thick, as if it was something wrong. No, it's because they're organic, you see, and they're cheaper than the supermarkets. Seriously. But people, I prefer to go down to the supermarket and get my eggs where they're factory farm crap they're selling.
And you know what what you do. I've learned this recently. Sometimes you got to check your eggs if you buy them from the store or from a farm if they've been set out too long. Like eggs that are fresh, you should be able to keep them outside on the kitchen countertop for a month without them going bad.
Yes.
Without having to refrigerate them. But if
carry on.
Go ahead.
Sorry, mate. Please carry on.
Once you wash the egg, then they need to be refrigerated. But if you want to find out if you have a bad egg, take a glass of water and drop the egg in there. If it sinks to the bottom, it's good. If it floats to the top, throw it away.
Spot on. That's what I do.
Okay.
And I've actually found that I think they wash. I'm not sure because I've noticed them a bit wet. I think they might wash the eggs in the farm. I don't know. I really don't know, but they're very nice.
You can also eat the eggshells as well. Eggshells are full of calcium.
That's a little strange, but maybe I bet you could.
Obviously, peel the chicken shit off it first. Obviously,
yes.
Obviously eat that, but
it makes good fertilizer too. If you crush it up, you can put it in with your house plants or your garden plants. It's very good soil amendment.
Eggshells, they complete calcium, all calcium. Brilliant for you.
Well, my mum used to say, don't eat the eggshells or anything part of it because it gives you warts.
Really?
That's what she used to say. Or don't drink the egg water because the egg water gives you warts.
That's why my hands have... Is that why one of my hands looks like a toad now?
Has anybody else heard of that one? My mum used to say, don't drink the egg, don't touch the egg water, don't touch the eggshells because it gives you warts.
Who knows? Maybe she's right.
That's right. She could have been, yes. Mark Anthony. Hello, Mark. The definition of poverty is totally different to what it was years ago. I agree. Many people on benefits today are better off than those who work and earn a wage.
Yeah,
I wonder, especially if you come over on a rubber boat, I wonder if it's the same in the USA. I don't know.
Yeah, we have people who claim disability that shouldn't be claiming disability. They should be getting healthy, eating good food, but they choose not to. And you can look down on them. I'm not saying that they, there aren't people scamming the system because they do, like everywhere.
Well, it's like here, but again, if you go onto my Telegram channel, which I've lost a few subscribers this week because of my naughty words about
NHS.
I've got an article there where people, men, are going over to France, finding the dinghies that
splitting them open.
The
dinghies. Yeah, I saw that article.
They had a brand new outboard motor, which they did a little bit of, shall we say, technical work on it with a pair of snippers, cold wiring looms and things like that. So
they should have souped it up. They should have increased its horsepower. Like, I don't know what horsepower's in there at the moment. They should have, if it was 100 horsepower, they should have souped up to 1,000. You see, yeah, who was that? They've missed us by miles.
Well,
welcome to Norway.
So, I'll tell you what they did. Do you see that one in Greece where the
boat? The boat came.
Yeah,
the Coast Guard came up,
her, but just rammed them, was pushing them back. Now, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, one of these fellas that goes over and damages these dinghies and that, he interviewed one of the asylum seekers, a very nice chap who he interviewed. And let's face it, you can't blame them for coming here, because if someone offers you a fantastic life somewhere else, you're going to take it. And that's what they're doing. So the government is, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely
culprits.
Treasonous.
Yeah. Treason, yes. Now, what is it? Oh, hang on, I've just deleted it accidentally. Here it is. Automation out of UC Davis is taking over. I don't understand. I'm sorry. What was?
I don't know what UC Davis is.
I don't know.
Automation of what?
Yeah.
What kind of automation?
Oh, Universal Credit.
UBI.
Universal Credit is taking over. Yes, I get it now. Yes, sorry, mate. Yes, Universal Credit is taking over. Yes, and Asperger's Fudge has said he's sent the Bullrat farmer a message. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated, and telling him if he doesn't come on, I'm going to go up to his farm and kick his tractor tires. How's that? That'll get him on, won't it? So he bastard, kick his tractor tires, you know.
Well, you could always go up there and grab one of his chickens and threaten it and say, I don't know, come on, all the chicken gets it.
So Wahhead Rex is talking about calcium carbonate. I got something to say about that.
Right, okay, where are we? Oh, yes, calcium carbonate. Okay. By the way, Wahhead Rex, are you in America or Great Britain or somewhere else? Anyway,
my guess is
calcium
carbonate. He's a UK dweller.
Yeah. So calcium carbonate.
Calcium carbonate for eggs. Now, you used to, in the olden days, they used to mix calcium carbonate with water and make what's called whitewash. And the whitewash, they'd spray it on walls, on concrete, and that sort of thing is quite common. Then what you do to preserve eggs without refrigeration is you would mix up calcium carbonate, lime putty it's called, with water, and then you put the eggs at the bottom of a bucket and fill that bucket with that whitewash, calcium carbonate and water, and it would preserve the eggs.
That's an interesting one to know.
And then you just, when you needed an egg, you just dip your hand in the bucket and wash off the egg shell, and it'd preserve the egg so that you could keep them throughout the wintertime. And the Amish actually would do things with vegetables where they would take fresh tomatoes that they pick from the garden, and they'd collect over the year all of their pot ashes from their fireplace, and they'd put the tomatoes in the pot ashes, and that would preserve them over the winter, to where you just pick out a tomato out of the potash pile and it'd be freshly preserved, and you just wash it off and use it like you would a fresh tomato.
That's fantastic. Right. Thanks for that. And do you know how I preserve lemons? When I buy unwaxed lemons from the supermarket, which are more expensive than the wax lemons. Now, it doesn't make sense to me, but surely if you put in wax on lemons, it's cost you more money, wouldn't it?
Why did they put wax on them in the first place?
To preserve them.
Well, anyway, what I do, I put the unwaxed lemons in jam jars of water, and then put the water in the fridge, and they last about 6 weeks, 2 months sometimes, depending on what they like. So that's my top tip: how to preserve lemons. You stick them in water and stick them in an old jam jar and shove them in your fridge. There we are.
So I do a lemon drink. I'll do a lemon drink once or twice a week, and it's good for neutralising any acid in the body.
I agree with you.
Lemon, honey, and all sorts of bits and pieces. I bought some sea moss as well. That was from our local grape tree. I don't know if you got a grape tree in.
Yeah, we got a game tree where I live. Yes,
Yeah.
and they're very good. I tell you something. Their dates are very good. They're from Iran.
Dates are yummy.
They really are. But these are not covered in shit and like the stuff you got at Christmas. These are the proper ones that come off the trees, and they're produce of Iran, and they've done a very good product of it. They really are. I only have about 3 a day, and the reason why, because they're packed full of sugar, which is not good, you know. Now, Alec Anthony says wagon wheels have shrunk to half the size they was years ago. I agree with you. Yes,
and the price has gone up double.
That's right. Have you been in the pound shop recently and seen how things have shrunk? Soon, you have a microscope to go around and see what to buy.
It's terrible. I'd spend more money if they just charged more money for the original product. Wouldn't you? You don't even have the option these days.
Yes.
Well, I often wonder. I mean, I don't use supermarkets anymore, but when I've been in there and you see, at one time of day you'd have like a trolley full, and that'd be like 30 quid. And I reckon at some point in the near future, I don't know, perhaps another 20 years, someone's going to turn up with a basket that's completely empty, and they're going to charge them 100 quid for it. There'll be nothing there.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
They did try it on. Oh, when was it now? When they had these designer shops in the 80s, where you had to pay a fee of £20 or something a year to go in the shop. You had a card to go in the shop, and they just went past. But they tried it on.
I could be asking a question on. I don't know if anybody in the audience may know this. I use hemp as part of my tea collection here, proper raw hemp or fresh dried hemp.
Yep.
And the only place I've found that does it is a place in Glastonbury, which is quite a trek from where I am here to get to. Does anybody know anywhere that does fresh or dried hemp that I can get?
Aunt Sally would know. She put me onto. She got bloody hell, I can't remember what it is. It's downstairs. She put me onto this tea which lowers your blood pressure, and once you have it, you sort of, hey, you're spaced out, man. You float everywhere, you know. Hi, I'm on.
Be sure it doesn't have the THC.
It's quite legal.
Okay.
Quite legal. Go to work on an egg. Sorry, you're going to say. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say, I've been drinking Lilt and stuff, and he come the little man and all that. No, it's good. Hemp's really good. Good detox. Really. Hibiscus I've been using as well. That's really, really good as well.
That's it. That's a hibiscus tea. Yeah. Aunt Sally put me into, and she got me some. Thanks, Aunt Sally. It's bloody good. And I use it sparingly, but I've freaked out on it, man. You know, it's groovy. Go to work. No hereditary get fucked. This is not a sex show. You can't turn on the wrong channel. Go to work on an egg. Sorry.
I tend to go on the bus, to be honest, but each to their own.
Now we got here. Hang on. We got here. UP Brown said universal basic income is on its way. Yes, I think it is.
UBI. Yeah.
UBI and Warhead Rex said UBI was a failure in regional experiments in the USA. Yes. I just want governments to get their nose out of my business and everybody's business. As far as I'm concerned, governments can go off. I can't stand governments. Now, Aunt Sally says, yes, it does surprise. Yes. I use organic lemons every day in my tea. I save the peel and make cake out of it as well. Very nice cakes, which Miles bleed and scoffed. No, actually, you went in on a Wednesday. I didn't go that Wednesday, and when I went in on a Friday, they'd eaten them.
I'll drink tea in the morning time, in the afternoon, but at night, if I drink tea, I'll be awake all night. So I drink just warm water. Is good enough.
Tea as in sort of tea bags sort of thing, Patrick.
Tea bags, loose leaf tea. I'm way into tea. I love tea.
Do you ever try the herbal teas? So things like, so for example,
chamomile.
I've got lavender. That's good for chilling out if you're trying
to. Hibiscus is, like you said, hibiscus is another good one.
Yeah.
No caffeine.
Hemp. I've got
hemp. I've got hemp.
The one to avoid of a night time is nettle, because nettle is a stimulant. But nettles, if you've got any allergies or anything like that, nettle teas.
Oh,
fantastic.
Well, then for my digestion, I'll take half a spoon of honey and half a spoon of vinegar and mix those two together as a sweetener. It's really good.
Oh.
Can you get ginger over in America?
Yep, ginger. We get liquid ginger or just regular ginger root, candied ginger, any of that kind of stuff. Wisconsin's
ginger,
well known for its ginger.
If you get indigestion, ginger's absolutely brilliant for that. It clears it instantly.
I've heard.
I don't know what.
I've heard that butter and milk are not good for indigestion, especially at night. So I try to avoid dairy products before I go to bed.
Yeah, that's fatty, I suppose. It turns.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I was listening to Shelley Tasker's show on Soapbox on Wednesday, and she was talking about how she had gone to a dietitian with bad indigestion problems for years, and they told her to get rid of butter and milk, and it cured her indigestion. And she's like, "Oh, I learned about it just as I was getting into raw milk and all this other stuff." It's like, well, I think in the morning time when you're upright, milk's fine and butter and all that. But when you're gonna sleep, just before that, just avoid it, and you'll feel better.
I suppose the thing is, if you have it first thing in the morning, I suppose you're active for much of the day, so your body burns it off anyway, I suppose.
Right, like Eric, you were saying that you eat in the morning time a big meal.
That's
the biggest
right.
meal of the day.
I don't
That's
eat
good.
after 2:00, so by the time I go to bed, my stomach's empty.
Yeah.
And it was the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds that introduced about 130, 140 years ago this idea of having 3 meals a day. Before that, most people just eat 1 meal a day, and if they ate 2, they were considered a gannet. And that's why people are very thin. You don't need, and we are hunter-gatherers. Our body is designed to go without food for a long time. And when you go into a supermarket, it's always when you walk in the door, all there is you're surrounded by is carbohydrates. And we're not designed to eat carbohydrates. And I want to get Dr. Myhill back on the show. I've sent an invite out, and I'm waiting for a reply for her. And another doctor, McBride. I've been contacted by, what happened, I sent an inquiry out, and I've had a reply after several months, and I think she wants to come on. So I hope so. So I'll have another doctor on who's into who's a specialist in diets and things like that. So so sometime in the future, we don't know. But sorry, what I was going to say is the only dairy I have now, unless I have raw milk, is butter, because that's got butyrene, I think, in, and which lines the inside of your intestines or something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it's supposed to be very, very good for you. And I do like butter. I love butter.
And of course, our brains need cholesterol, the good cholesterol, right, which comes from. Plus, of course, if you have cheese or anything like that sort of before bed, you get one hell of a lot of good dreams.
Oh, that's right. You were the one that talking about the cheese dreams.
Cheese, yes, oh God, yeah.
Since I'm the ambassador of cheese, I should know this. This is going down in the journal, the cheese journal. Buckham Hall Cheese Journal.
I've got a story about cheese because my uncle was with my dad during the war. He wasn't my uncle at the time because I wasn't born. And I'm talking about World War II. And they were in the frontline intelligence, which had one of the highest casualty rates of the lot. Very few survived. And they were taught unarmed combat, more so than the average squaddies, because they used to go behind the lines a lot and they were always surrounded. Anyway, beside the point, my uncle could not eat cheese before going to bed because he woke up one morning and he had his hands around my auntie's throat. He's dreaming. She get off. Luckily, woke up. Bloody hell, and yeah. And cheese used to affect him. He used to have these terrible dreams. Another thing he did is sometimes he'd wake up as if he's being attacked, and then he'd go into auto defense mode. So yes, I hasten to add that he had one child. So
was that during a dream as well?
Yes. Rest in peace, Uncle. Now, with these packets going down, they said, Mark Anthony said they call it shrinkflation.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So we shouldn't. All this promotion of cereals as well. Cereals are full of sugar, which is not the right way to start the day in the first place.
It was Kellogg's.
Yeah.
He was a very strange man.
Kellogg. And then we have General Mills here in Minnesota.
We have Quakers, Quaker
Oats. Yeah,
that's right. What else do we have?
Who was it that do Weetabix? My God! See, when I was a child, Weetabix were quite nice with the layer of sugar on.
That's right.
But the more
Ready Break.
Ready Break. Oh yeah. Get 'em and glow.
Pillsbury. That's another big one in Minnesota. Get over there. We have Pillsbury. Yeah,
Pillsbury
Mills.
But with Ready Breck, he had this. It looked like a kid had went to an atomic power station. Had all this glow around him as he walked along. So you remember those adverts? Yes, get radiation poisoning when you eat. Sorry.
There used to be there was a golden syrup one of that, and that was quite nice. And there was a chocolate version, and that looked like the bottom of a bird cage and all. To be honest, it was fucking horrible.
Do you get maple syrup over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Lasts forever, doesn't it? Apparently it lasts like honey. I've got maple syrup that's 20 years old. And
we have one maple tree in our yard, and it always produces enough maple syrup to last us at least a year, if not a year and a half or more. So we're always stocking up because of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can grow them in this country.
Maple trees?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, of course we do. Yeah, we got maple trees. Yeah.
If you've got maple trees, you should be able to. But the time to do it, the time to tap it, is just after winter thaw, in the early spring. That's when we get lots of it.
A bit like parsnips or fartsnips, as I call them, because once you get the frost in, now's the time to buy. Once we've had a couple of frosts, buy the parsnips, and they'll be a lot sweeter. The frost sweetens them up, apparently.
Same with apples. Like apples at this time, when it gets cold and freezing, the sweetness increases dramatically.
That's right,
and makes it a lot more sweet and less tart.
What Warhead Rex says? Costco, Sam's Club.
Yeah, we have those here.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have Costco there?
No.
Yeah,
we have Costco. I don't know about Sam's Club because I don't go.
Walmart.
It's called Asda in this country. It was taken over by but it was taken over by Walmart, and they tried to do American ideas like greeters, with that old boy standing smartly dressed saying hello.
Do you have the Salvation Army?
Oh, we got Salvation Army.
That started there, didn't it? We have those door greeters with the bells in the wintertime.
Yeah, well, that's not English people say, who the bleeding hell's he? Hello. Because
you don't have that? The Salvation Army?
We got Salvation Army, yeah.
No, I know you do, but do you have them as greeters and storefronts with the bells?
No. You used to have.
Money?
For a few years, our Asda in town here used to have a greeter who was about 104 years old. I'm sure they used to just walk around all the elderly, the care homes, say, anybody on their last legs? Oh yeah, come on! You can be a greeter for 2 months before you broke it.
What about that? See, I often wonder what happens to flyers in winter and what happens to Salvation Army in the summer. You never see the Salvation Army in the summer. They come out in the winter, stand round outside a supermarket playing their bloody mournful. And my dad noticed that Salvation Army girls are very attractive. Have you noticed that?
I guess I've never paid attention. I do
because I notice these things because I like women.
Well, yeah, but I've never I guess I've never seen any ones that I'd call attractive. Usually usually the Salvation Army, it's a guy around.
How many points?
So I don't.
Had you got the beer goggles on at the time, Chris? It wasn't a bunch of blokes, was it?
Also, do they come around the inns and pubs selling War Cry?
War Cry, what's that?
War Cry, that's their magazine, War Cry.
Oh,
and because that's how it started. They wanted to declare war on alcoholism because it's and you could sign a thing, I believe, in the Victorian times called the Drinking Pledge, and my grandfather signed the Drinking Pledge, saying that he'd never alcohol would never pass his lips, and it didn't. And the reason why he never drunk was because his father was an alcoholic, and he had a horrendous childhood because of it. So my grandfather never drunk, my father never drunk, and I like the occasional very small tipple, but I don't generally drink either. So
it's like these Protestant girls used to wear these things. Chastity rings is a ring on their finger.
Really?
Yeah. Is to show the boys that they're chaste. Which, the idea is good. It's like not drinking. That's good, but I don't think it always works.
Are these women after crusty old bastards from Great Britain? I just wondered, just a thought. Anyway, Aunt Sally 1130. Hello, Aunt Sally 1130, who makes very nice cakes. Very nice with bits of lemon in them, and she made a
Sally
coconut
cakes.
cake. Yes, Sally cakes. That's right. And she brings them into Miles's shop, and his assistant scoff.
What does Miles sell in his shop?
Health stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because he's an acupuncturist and things like that. And I'm still trying to drag him kicking and screaming onto the show, but
do you know any beekeepers? Do you know any beekeepers?
I did know. Yes, I did know a beekeeper. And yes, I still see him. Yes, he comes into Miles's shop occasionally. Yes, he's a beekeeper.
Raw honey is very good for you, especially local honey for allergies and that sort of thing, and just building up your immune system.
It never goes off.
The better.
Yeah,
never goes off, and it's a good antibiotic for the body. Yeah.
If you cut yourself, you put honey on it, and it heals quicker.
So back to the honey and vinegar. It's an old ancient remedy that Hippocrates talked about called oxymel. It's honey and vinegar, and they've done studies on it. And honey is a antibacterial, like you said, to put on wounds and that sort of thing. But if you mix it with vinegar, it's like 100 times more effective than honey or vinegar alone.
Really? And what's this? Just a teaspoonful, sort of half
just
and
half and half, honey and vinegar.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Thanks, Patrick. I'm going to give that a try.
It's supposed to be really good for your digestion and for your breathing, for the respiratory. In fact, I think that's the base for a lot of the cough drops, like the Swiss-based cough drops, is a honey and vinegar type mixture.
So I have occasional swig of the old apple cider vinegar over there, which is
mix that with honey and try that. And
I'll give it a try.
I mix it up as a syrup and I add it to water, like hot water, or my tea as a sweetener. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And if you go to Lidl's or Aldi in the UK, organic, I think it's 500 milligrams. They sell exactly the same quantity. Is just over £2 a bottle in Aldi or Lidl's. Apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Yeah.
So that's the top tip of the week.
Any vinegar works.
Talking of Aldi, do you know that Aldi are now doing their own Humpty Dumpty?
What?
Do you know that? It comes with Aldi King's horses and Aldi King's men.
It's a dad joke.
Oh,
sorry about
that. That's like the 3 years in Star Trek on Dr. Spock. I like that one. The first left ear, the second right ear, and the last front ear.
The final frontier.
The final frontier.
Final front. Did I tell you I went to carol singing the other night? We started to go around the hospital, and everything was going fine until we got to the schizophrenic department, and we started to sing "Can You Hear What I Hear?" Sorry. Apparently, Margaret Thatcher's first degree was in chemistry. Yeah, she made all the shitty ice cream, didn't she? Her final year project was how to puff up ice cream with air to make it more volume. And I think there's a name, because I worked on a project once designing a kitchen in an American Air Force base in this country, believe it or not. It was American Air Force base. Where was it there? Somewhere. And they have a thing, is it called a shake shaft machine, which makes the gooey ice cream that goes like that, and they can, and it is Margaret Thatcher.
Oh yeah, soft serve ice cream dispenser.
Yeah. The type of stuff I'd never touch with a 10-foot sterilized bar.
Oh, they have these restaurants called Dairy Queen around here. It started out in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. My grandpa grew up with the guy that started it, and it's soft serve. It's all soft serve ice cream, and I don't like it myself. It's like lard and ice cream for the flavors, kind of blah. Yeah, lots of sugar, lots of syrups and stuff. They mix. But
what I do have in the morning is blueberries. Blueberries are very, very good for you. Good for your
Blueberry
eyes.
pie is excellent.
Yeah.
Scones.
Oh, scones is my favourite.
Yeah.
So you're a scone man. That's good, excellent. Because over here, some people call them scones. I bet you do. Scones,
Yeah.
but they're scones.
Scones.
What do you call them, Mr. Hanorak?
Yeah, scone. I'll do
Excellent,
have
excellent.
them with a bit of clotted cream and jam, but there seems to be a bit of a debate in which order you should put the clotted cream and the jam.
Jam first.
Some,
Jam first.
Yes.
See, I've tried those both versions, but you see, I always think that if you put the clotted cream on first, that's obviously that stays put. So when you put the jam on the top, it stays where it is. Whereas when you put the jam on first, you run the risk of clotted cream ending up in your lap.
I like them both ways. Doesn't matter to me. It goes in the same way.
You haven't lived. You haven't lived until you've been to Cornwall and had Cornish cream.
That's what I hear. In the past,
if you ever come to Britain, don't worry about London shithole. Go straight to Cornwall. True.
That's what I heard. Otherwise, go north. Yep.
Yeah. No. And the light and the scenery is breathtaking. To me, as I say, when I was a kid, we used to go on holidays there. I used to say, "I'm going home." To me, that's my home. I love Cornwall. And Aunt Sally says, hibiscus tea lowers blood pressure. Yeah, thanks, Aunt Sally. You bought me some. It's very kind of you. And you
Get
told me
yourself
there's a
a hibiscus plant. What's that?
I'm not sure. I don't think, does it grow here? Because I know it comes from near China, someplace up there.
Oh no, we have them here. We actually keep a tree indoors in the wintertime and then let it bring it outside in the summertime. You can even have them that they're bred for the wintertime here, and they come up every year.
Really? So, you might be able to get me here because your climate it's colder in the winter than here.
Yeah.
Although it's about the same temperature as Scotland, I would have thought. Wisconsin's temperature is a bit like Scotland, but we're very, very similar weather conditions. When you have nice weather, we have nice weather. When we have shit weather, you have shit weather. You know. So, but I know because I was floating when I had the hibiscus tea, and I think I might have the hibiscus tea with that honey and vinegar.
Yeah, try that. Definitely try that. Everybody listening.
Yeah, that's right.
I make my own carbonated water, and I mix it with that too. It's better than soda.
It's not using baked beans, is it?
Huh?
Tin of baked beans. No, sorry, we won't go there.
Oh, I've got to say, I must say, my I would draw the line at fizzy water. We used to get fizzy water out of our drinks machine at work, and it was like drinking Alka-Seltzer. It was bloody horrible.
Have you ever had natural seltzer water, spring water?
No.
I have.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Russia, actually Abkhazia, between Georgia and Russia, in the Caucasus Mountains, and we went up one of these mountain passes, and they had a naturally carbonated seltzer spring where you go and it's just this little trickle coming out of the rocks, and you put your bottle up to it, and it's naturally carbonated water. It's really neat.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
You find them every so often.
Wasn't there a bath next door to it? Was there some big blokes there having like,
yeah, right.
beans?
Well, there's a website that you go onto. I can't remember what it is, but you can actually look up all the springs around the world. And I did the nearest one to me is about 25 miles away. There's one in Essex and there's one in northern Hertfordshire, near where Dawn Lester lives. Up near there, Ashwell Wells, I think it is. It's a long way to go and get some water. You know, it's about 30, 40 miles.
Spring water is some of the best. You get these artesian wells are the best. Most of them anyway. And so like that carbonated spring, the word seltzer, I think it's in Germany. The seltzer spring there, it's an actual name of the place is seltzer. That's where we get the word seltzer. So when people say seltzer water, that's coming from Germany. The natural spring.
That used to be advertised everywhere. Alka-Seltzer, you don't see it as much.
And then Alka-Seltzer, that comes from that. It comes from that.
Well, the nicest one I've tried so far was down at again Glastonbury. You got the Chalice Well there, which where the water comes off the Tor. And they got basically a massive garden there, which where you can do meditation, that sort of stuff, and put your feet in some bloody cold water, but really your body gets used to. It's quite nice actually. But the water tastes like it's full of iron. So if you've ever had a nosebleed and you get the taste of blood at the back of your throat, tastes like that basically. And there's 2 taps outside on the main road or on the side road where people go and basically fill up their massive buckets of water. It's beautiful stuff, really. Apparently, it's good. If you put a few spots in tap water, it basically kills off any shit in it, basically.
Well, I recently bought from India, off of eBay, some copper flask things that you store water in, and it's supposed to do something to the water. Well, I bought them, and I have to admit, it's fantastic quality. And I think there's 2 things that India does. Well, they probably do a lot more things well, but what I found, if you want to buy a pressure cooker, Indian pressure cookers are probably the world's best. And if you want to buy copper, anything like a copper jug or copper flask, which I got, it cost me about £12, which is about what, $14, $15, something like that. And it took just over a week to get here, which is not bad. And it had to come such a long way. And it's fantastic. I mean, you put some water in there, and you've got to leave it 8 hours, and it takes any nasty stuff out of it. I do filter my water. I've got a zero water filter, but what I do is I decant water from one flask into a Brita filter, and then from Brita filter into the zero filter, because the water here is so bad. When I've tested the tap water, it's 340 parts per million, which is pretty high. And it's full of lime scale. It's a very lime scale area.
I've never tried this, but I've heard that if you take like cheap vodka, you can make high quality vodka by running it like 5 times through a Brita filter.
Really?
Nasties. Yeah.
Because vodka, actually, I use vodka. I put it in a spray for dry. Instead of taking something to be dry cleaned, you just spray it with vodka, and clean your jacket or anything like that. But most things, you don't need to, it says dry clean only. No, it's rubbish. Anything that's cotton, you can. I've washed. I've got what do you call it? A trench coat, because I like trench coats. Flasher-mac, as we call them, and I've washed that a couple of times in the washing machine, and I do it on a cold wash, freezing cold wash, with drop the old some soft, gentle soap. Comes out a bleeding treat. It really does. And now Aunt Sally, she said earlier, I'll just put this up again, she talked about Margaret Thatcher. She a final year project was to puff up ice cream with air to make it more volume. And then she went on to say, I know because I worked with Thatcher's tutor in the 1980s.
Oh, I hear they add this thing called Carrageenan, which is a type of seaweed, to ice cream to make it puffed up like that, and to make it, dense but light.
But I make my own ice cream, and the way I do that is I just get I've got an ice cream maker, which is like a little thing with a motor in it that you just you freeze this sort of pot in the freezer first of all, then you put what you want to make ice cream with, and this remains frozen, and you put a thing with a motor on it and just stirs it, and after about half an hour you've got ice cream. And what I do, I make it from bananas, and frozen bananas is fantastic. And if you want, you can put a little bit of cream in it if you want, but if you don't want, and it comes out an absolute treat. Beautiful ice cream it is, but it's quite easy to make your own ice cream, really. Now, hey realists, this is the Jollyman. Cats on catnip. What's all that about? I don't think cats like catnip, do they? I think it.
Oh, they do. They get crazy when we used to have a cat, and he'd fill a sock with catnip, and they'd just play with it, and they'd get stoned off of it and act goofy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cats are goofy anyway, aren't they?
They get more goofy. They get crazy.
But is there any relationship you have with a cat? I mean, when I say relationship, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about what they call it, some nasty word for it, but I'm talking about, a dog. You can become good friends with a dog, and they'll
Cats,
sort of,
no.
they'll always be cats. Their attitude is, if you don't feed me, I'll sod off somewhere else.
I never liked cats that much.
Why is it? after you've given a cat a stroke, they always lick the human off them, sort of bloody human shit. You know, have you noticed that they always bleed and lick where you've stroked them? Unless it's me, they don't like me. You know,
Cats. I think cats are very suspect anyway because you can be. I was at Warrington Bank Key Station one day, and this cat came running across me, and I thought, I gave him a little stroke, and then he scratched me. I thought, well, you little shit, you came to me, I didn't approach you.
Yeah, all right, that little bastard's got. Yeah.
If you go down the road from me here where I'm at in Wisconsin over into Minnesota, they have a cattle auction place where they do cattle auctions every week or month. And then you go further down, they have an exotic animal auction place. And my dad met somebody from the exotic animal auction that raised tigers and mountain lions. And my dad bought a mountain lion from him. And we had that in a cage, this big old cage thing. That mountain lion put me off of liking cats forever. I hated that thing. I mean, because it's a wild cat. Yeah. You don't play with it because it's the thing could kill you in a second.
Every time it walks
jugular, it goes. And so I respect cats. I'll put it that way. I respect them, but I don't like them.
Did you have an unusual pets competition where you lived at all? Sorry, mate.
Me?
Well, anybody. Sorry.
Unusual pets. We had all sorts of stuff.
I was just saying that. I was just going to say that I suspect every time you walked out past that cat in that Puma, I bet he thought, oh, here comes dinner again.
Exactly. No, that's you do. You feel that, and then the worst part was he'd be out in the cage and he'd start calling out, and then you'd hear another cat out in the woods responding. That's the worst.
Really?
Because you know that they're out there.
And do you ever hear that? I mean, there's two stories I heard of. There's a bloke that saved a young hippopotamus's life, and it was a baby hippopotamus, and it became a pet. And when it got grown up, it ate him.
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah, and there's a woman that had a python, and she took it to the vet because it didn't eat, and she used to sleep in bed with this bleeding thing.
Oh,
and the vet said, the reason he's not eating because he's sizing you up for lunch. She got rid of it.
Yeah. No, the guy that this is the crazy part of that story too. Not only did we get this mountain lion, he had to get rid of it because we had a thunderstorm once and a tree landed near it, and the insurance adjuster came out and said, "You need to get rid of that mountain lion," and or we're not insuring you anymore. So he got rid of it. But the guy he bought it from over in Mankato, Minnesota, had sold a tiger to a guy out in New York City in Manhattan, kept it in his apartment, and it ate him.
What do you do with what did your dad do with the mountain lion? Did you just let it free, or just...
I think he sold it back to the guy he got it from. Who's going to buy a mountain lion? Who in their right mind buys a mountain lion?
How would you put that for sale? Put on eBay, collection only.
eBay, no, Craigslist. I don't know.
Yes, mountain lion eats children. Because do you ever hear about that misprint? Someone put a dog for sale. And he should have said loves children, and accidentally someone put down eats children. And
you can never trust that. You can never.
No,
you couldn't. You can never fully trust it. I mean, you think, well, at some point I'm going to step in this cage and I'm going to be dinner.
We had Burmese pythons for a while. We had Burmese pythons. We started out with these albino Burmese pythons, which were yellow and white. And we got one that was a normal type python. And they had babies. And the babies got lost out of the cage once into the house. And I just remember going to reach for a cookbook. And then one just biting me on the knuckles as I was pulling the book out because it was hiding behind the books on the shelf. And it's just like, And eventually my dad, he sold them to one of his employees, and you wouldn't believe the guy's name. His name was Monty.
that was a did have a minute.
Well, do you know that film? Was it Snakes on Planes? And apparently, when they devised that film, they said there's two things that people are terrified of: flying and snakes. So you put the two together, and you got a good film. But there was one, what was it now? Filmed in London, and it was about what's that Indian snake, which is the most deadliest of the lot. If you're bitten by it, you're dead within about half an hour. and I don't think there's any.
Mamba.
I think it might be a mamba. There's a film similar to that.
Black
with
Mamba?
Susan George. I think a black mamba went into the air conditioning of this house, and it could appear anywhere. And of course, once it bites you, you're dead virtually. Ooh.
My grandpa would tell me about how when he was in the Korean War, they were stationed in Okinawa, and there were islands and all this kind of stuff that had snakes, and they'd call this type of snake a step and a half, because once it bit you, that's all the further you'd get is a step and a half.
Because strange thing is, we've got snakes in Britain, but they haven't got any natural snakes in Ireland, and it's because apparently
St. Patrick.
St. Patrick. So they say, but what it was the Ice Age. It covered the whole of Ireland, but it didn't quite cover all of Great Britain, and some survived. But I think we've got two main snake types. There is a third one that's only found on the South Downs, but we've got adders and grass snakes. And where I live, it's noted for adders. There's more adders around here than almost any other part of Great Britain. And
we have no poisonous snakes here.
Really, the adder is poisonous. But if you get bitten by it, it's like a bee sting. It's not. I think the last bloke that died from it was in the 1920s. They're pretty harmless.
I have a brother that lost a finger to a snake.
Really?
Yeah, he was down in Missouri, and he's the type that's an outdoorsy type of guy, and likes he likes to hunt and all that kind of stuff. But he saw a copperhead, he thought it was a dead copperhead, went to go touch it. The thing snapped and bit his index finger. And it was so bad they had to cut off his, from the second knuckle up. Terrible.
Really?
So I went to our local tropical pet shop in Shrewsbury the other week. And when I went in there, I noticed one of the lizards was on CCTV duty. And I said, the bloke said, "What's he doing?" He said, "That's our monitor lizard."
We had monitor lizards too. I remember we'd get monitor lizards, and they'd get loose, and they'd go out and live the summer out swimming around and on the islands and stuff, and people would see them every so often. And then after winter, you'd find their bones on somewhere on one of the nearby the shore. And then there was one time we had my dad had bought alligators from Florida, and my three brothers got an alligator each, and I think their names were Spike, Scales, and SpongeBob. And they ended up letting I think a couple of them got out, and by the end of summer the things were huge, but they don't live the winter time because it's so cold.
I remember watching some video footage of some. I think it was in California, wherever the Everglades are, and this bloke had come home and there was an alligator outside his porch. So he picked up a wheelie bin and sort of worked this thing into this alligator into the wheelie bin, shut it, and then legged it down the road with it to try and get rid of it.
Yeah, bloody things. But I mean, Mike Mantis said, was that film, that one I was talking about, called Venom? Might have been. Oliver Reed was in it.
Venom? Isn't that a Marvel movie, Venom? That was like a Spider-Man villain?
Might have been. I can't remember. I mean, I was very young at the time. I don't know.
It probably wasn't. It's probably.
I've lost a finger. Almost 3. Trust me, it hurts. I bet it bleeding.
I bet it does.
Yes. And Protestant snakes.
Protestant snakes.
Right? Yeah, we've got Protestant snakes over there. Oh, yes, they're proddies, And now, apparently, I mean, I've seen quite a few adders around. And but we also have a legless lizard called a slowworm. A legless lizard called a slowworm, and people mistakenly think it's a snake. It isn't a snake. Kids catch them. They had them when I was at school, and the reason it's not a snake is it's got eyelids. It blinks where snakes don't blink; their eyes are open all the time. But the most dangerous time, though, for adders is spring, because they haven't quite woken up from hibernation and they don't get out of your way too easy. so you can accidentally tread on one. But I'm surprised you don't have any poisonous snakes in Wisconsin.
We do in the southern part of Wisconsin. It's like the dividing line is in the south, and then in the north here we don't get any.
Really? But do you get? I mean, the ones over here, the adders, they actually hibernate over winter. So
they hibernate here too. We get garden snakes, pine snakes, bull snakes.
Really?
But yeah, those are probably the three most common that I know of.
Do you get any poisonous spiders and stuff over there as well?
No poisonous. Well, we do get like these brown spiders. I think they're slightly poisonous. And I've heard that the dandy longlegs type spiders are the most poisonous, but they don't bite. We get those.
Oh, we get dandy longlegs, but there's also it's related to the Australian something.
Black widow.
No, not black widow. Something back spider, funnel web. No, not funnel web. There's one, something back spider, black, which it sits under lavatory seats in Australia under the Danny, and it bites you in embarrassing places. You know, go to the doctor and he says, "I'm afraid you're going to die if that poison isn't sucked out." Oh, you're going to suck it out? No, you're going to die. But apparently it's not as it's not poisonous at all. But it is. But we do have scorpions, but they're harmless. And there's some scorpions on a station that's found in Essex. But it's only found in that area. There's only one particular, and they don't know quite how it got there, but it's been there for years.
On a station?
Yeah, it's Chigwell. I think it's Chigwell Station, something like that. I think it's Chigwell. I could be wrong on that. And they're not. They look just like scorpions, but they won't kill you. They won't poison you or anything like that. Mark Matus says the film was Venom in 1981. Susan George was in it as well. That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what is it now? Cats with perky tails make ideal mobile detail holders. I'll tell you something. Very
towel holders with perky tails.
Okay. Yes. Something very naughty that my uncle on my father's side, not because the comedians were on my mother's side, did. He used to get a cat, just put his bell over its tail, and it go, and he said, "Oh, I'm playing the bagpipes." I mean, the cat liked him. It licked him afterwards. Now, Hereditous Getfolk said, "Idea: catnip tea. This time next year will be millionaires." Oh, yes, millionaire. Oh, I get it. Yes, millionaires, yeah.
I don't get it.
No, I don't.
Oh, I do. Because the cats like the catnip, and they're always shedding hair, aren't they?
Oh, million hairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, no. Please tell me I'm wrong. Blueberries are one of the most sprayed crops. You're eating pure glyphosate.
We have a blueberry farm near here. We get that had plants brought in from Michigan, and they're good. I love blueberries, and the wild blueberries are the best. I hear.
Yes, we get blackberries. Well, one's round.
We get blackberries too, and raspberries.
Yeah. They're bleeding very wild if you pick them. They get very angry, So
we don't
get at you.
What
we don't see very often now is gooseberries. I used to like gooseberries.
Yeah, my gooseberry bush died in my garden. I just decided to give up, which is a shame, really.
We don't get those around here.
I like this. Asperger's with fudge. When I was talking about ladies, he says, "I like women too, particularly the ones without what's-its."
Of course.
That's all your celebrities out then.
You don't like Bridget McCrone then?
Oh no.
Mike.
Oh, Big Mike. What about Michael, who's been
Big
like
Mike.
this? Big Mike.
There used to be some real funny videos on YouTube that have been since taken down, taking the piss out of Big Mike.
Have you seen those couple of people are experts on skeletons and that, and a couple of Italians, and they said it's definitely a bloke by the frame, you know.
Well, the hips never lie, do they? The hips. I've been going through the Marvel films, and some of the women on there got thick, massive necks. They're like bodybuilders, then, but there's no shape to them. There, no matter what shape you want, a natural woman is obviously you have the curves for the hips, and the blokes are just straight up and down. The
And
hips
then you
never
get these
lie.
ones that are all, you know, like twigs. They're so skinny, and and they try to pass themselves off as women. I was looking because I like looking at old records and stuff. I found these disco records from the 70s of this supposed woman, Amanda Lear, and she was supposedly, like, you know, the artist Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
His woman in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, bloody hell. He was just he's a fruitcake, he was.
Oh, he was a fruitcake for sure. And they say that this Amanda Lear was a tranny, and there's pictures of her and Bridget McCrone together, and it's like, yeah, two birds of a feather flock together. It's kind of really odd. I was listening to some of her music, and it's just like this weird it's trying to be female voice. It's just a counter alto type voice, and it's just like, is it a man? Because you can't tell listening to this woman sing.
What about Tiny Tim?
Yeah, we had Tiny Tim. Yeah, Tiny Tim. He's taking all those old songs and making them weird.
If you like music, a brilliant piano player.
I do, but I don't like Tiny Tim's.
No, you've got to hear Mrs. Miller.
Mrs. Miller.
Oh, no, sorry. No, she's not a piano player. Sorry, no.
Is that the opera singer?
No, that was... Oh, what was her name?
The worst opera singer in the world?
World's worst. But there's one in the 60s who her husband bought up all the records, I believe, to make her famous. She wanted to be. She sung Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
what was her name now? Mrs... I think it was Mrs. Miller. Oh, it was awful. It was so bad. It was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But...
one of the better piano players was Les Dawson. Les Dawson was brilliant. He could play it. He actually deliberately played it badly, but apparently that takes a lot of work and effort to do so.
Oh yes, and did you know that he could actually play it well? And he first started off. He went to France and he played in a hotel lounge, and nobody took any interest. And the reason why is because it was a brothel. That's true, apparently. But the artist you're talking about is the world's worst opera singer, and there's a film made about her, Florence Foster Jenkins. It was so bad. It was horrendous. It was, and she couldn't understand why people would absolutely peeing themselves with laughing in the arms. I used to go there for a bleeding good laugh. I think what was her name? Hang on, and they made a film about her, and it was Meryl Streep that acted the part. And I have to admit, even though I don't like Meryl Streep as a person, she did act. She actually sung the tunes in the film because she's deaf as opposed when it comes to singing, and she was very much like that Florence. It was very close, very close.
So she played Florence Jenkins?
Yeah, Florence Jenkins, and she did it very well. And when she sung out a tune, she actually did it on one take. She'd been practicing singing out a tune badly. So
you only need one take on something like that.
Oh! And that Blu-ray says, I do like my gluten-free porridge oats. Is there such a thing? Never heard of it.
Free.
And add a tablespoon of pea protein. What, you go into the loo and get some pea protein?
Pea protein.
Hey, well, Meryl Streep, just having a quick look at a picture of her. She's got a bloody Adam's apple. That's another bloke. Humongous neck and an Adam's apple. I'll tell you what. All these people we thought, oh yeah, Kylie Minogue, oh yeah, they're all blokes. They're all the opposite of what you think they are.
Who was it?
I'm a bit worried,
Who's the actress in Hitchcock's Psycho, the one that gets killed in the shower? Vivien Leigh, is that her name?
Vivien Leigh, yeah.
Her daughter, what's her name? She does all the yogurt commercials now.
I don't know.
She's said to have been a man.
Really?
There's a thing going around the internet that she was.
What about Tony
born-
Curtis's daughter? What's her name?
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a bit weird. I mean, why she has short
first name? The first name's a bloke's name, isn't it? Jamie
Lee. Lee's
They always tell us.
Yeah. Curtis.
Yeah.
Curtis, three blokes' name. My grandpa always told me never trust a man who has two first names. First name for a last name.
That's an interesting.
I don't know why.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And was it Alec Guinness said, "Never trust a man." Was it never trust? You could tell a man by his trousers. Too long, scruffy. Too short, very mad. That was it, really. Now, the Jollyman says the new plant-based hydrogenated vegetable magazine, is old after use oils recycled with high temp.
Margarine, you mean? Margarine.
Yeah, hydrogenating process, which is only one molecule away in plastic process that blasts frozen hydrogen through it, full of forever chemicals and healthy goodness. Yeah.
Well, I make plastic for a living. I bake it, the old plastisol type stuff, and what we use for that is soybean oil.
Wow.
So figure that out. Stay away from soybean oil. It's not good for you.
Unless
it
it's
is a
lard
plastic ingredient.
Really? And I tell you what else? I sometimes have got this oatmeal, and it's got bleeding tractor oil in it, which is rapeseed oil.
Yeah.
So you can't.
They say a lot of these people with gluten intolerance, it's only come about in the last 30, 40 years or however long, is because of all this soy additives that they add to it, like soy flour. It's a filler instead of having to buy pure wheat.
They add the GMO wheats as well.
Probably, but it'd still be better than just soy because soy is not good for you unless it's fermented, and even then, you're supposed to have a limited amount of it. I hate soy.
It's very bad for your thyroid. It wrecks your thyroid, apparently.
We had our local bakery here in town when I was a wee lad, where they would make everything with pork lard. They'd fry donuts with it. They'd make pancakes with lard. And then as time went on, the original owners sold it to someone else, and then they started adding in soy. And then to the point where it was like 10% lard and the rest was all soy. It's disgusting. No flavor. It's just because it's cheap, super cheap. Farmers get subsidized to grow the stuff, and that's why they do it.
In Hoddesdon, there used to be a fish and chip shop. I can say it because they've long gone now. And there used to be a queue. When I say fish and chips in America, fish and fries?
French fries.
And do you have specific fish and chippies where you are?
No, but it's common to go to a tavern or a restaurant and get like fried walleye cod, whatever it is, and they serve French fries with it. Yeah, fish and chips.
There's a fish and chip shop, and there used to be a queue on a Saturday evening, literally wrapping down the street.
Yeah.
And you got on the end of it, and it took you a good bloody 3/4 of an hour to get to the front of this queue. But their fish and chips it'd melt in your mouth. It's fantastic.
Excellent. I bet you they fried it in tallow or lard.
I can't remember, but I think the parents died and the youngsters took over. And I went in there one Saturday evening, and there was no queue. And looked, and they got a load of microwaves along the back.
Oh.
And they went to take some fish out of the freezer. I said, no, thank you. I just walked out, and there's nobody there.
No, it's got to be fresh.
And that shop has been empty for years.
Did you know that McDonald's used to use tallow for frying their French fries up until 92, and then they switched to soy?
I didn't know that. Mind you, I mean, McDonald's, I'd just flush it down the toilet and cut out the middleman.
well,
supposedly back in the day it was better, and just like anything.
Yeah. I mean, now, did you see that bloke that's kept us McDonald's for about 20 years, and it still looks exactly the same? It hasn't rotted because of all the preservatives in it.
Well, they closed one of ours up here for refurbishment, and the rats went out and celebrated. but no, The thing is, it's I mean, I don't know about in America, but on the lorries around here, the ones that deliver the poison to McDonald's, it says on the side of them that they use the same stuff that they cook the shit in to power the lorries. Well, I wouldn't consider a human body to be anywhere near even remotely like the diesel engine in a truck, would you? It's
no.
That's telling you that it's crap.
It's crap. But it's just, well, you know, I mean, I haven't had it for years. But now Mike Mantis says everything is smaller than it was 20 years ago. That's what I tell the missus anyway.
They're putting chemicals in the water that are making the frogs gay. That's the Alex Jones saying there.
Really?
Chemicals in the water. Yeah,
Yes.
It's a joke, but
hang on, we got a list of trannies here. Here we go. Oh, we got loads of trannies here. Where are
Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis. Yep, that we just covered that.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, going back, we got here. NASA has a snake tongue as its logo. What's that all about, you wonder? That's interesting.
Well, if you think about it, the snake tongue looks like a T, which makes it an interesting anagram.
Interesting.
Satan.
Anyway, Art Sully said, so Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, we got the same here with Mike. And we got, Liz Hurley too. Really? Was she a tranny? What about that?
They all are.
What does that make me? Because I used to fancy Liz Hurley.
Uh-oh.
My
you
God,
didn't know at the time. You didn't know at the time. At the end of the day, we're all.
They have that Kinks song, Lola. I mean,
yes. Yes.
You're in that boat. You're in the Kinks boat.
I mean, she does
have
the
one who's got a massive neck and an Adam's apple. Liz Hurley. Sorry, Chris, to put the downer on that one, but yeah,
and a very big teeth. You know what I was going to say there? Yes, big teeth. Do you ever see that with
testicles? Probably to go with them. Sorry, Chris.
Did you ever see that with who's that Scottish comedian? Well, he used to be a comedian. When he was on a awards night, what was it now? The Big Yin, he was called. Can't think of his name, but he used to be funny before he started effing and blinding and using swear words. And Liz Hurley came down some steps with no bra on. Everything was going all over the place, and it put him off what he's going to say next.
Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly, thanks, mate. Yeah, Billy Connolly. Yeah. But Les Dawson was really funny. He was deadpan, wasn't he? He never cracked a. Do you remember that time when he was cracking some gags and a penguin walked on? And then he just walked straight past him, walked on. He still carried on talking, and he was just talent right the way through. Now we got here. The Jollyman said they removed 1,000 years from our true history and added fake hero stories, historical characters. Yes, I think you're very true history. Well, let's put it this way: World War II. There's two versions: the Hollywood version, which the majority of people believe, and what actually happened. That's it. Which you're not. Some of
categories. The category mistakes. Yeah, category of the mind and category of reality. The category of mind would be the Hollywood version. Reality is different.
But now, Aunt Sonny said, I wonder how you're supposed to get oil out of a soybean. They're not.
They do it.
To touch.
They take a big press. They take like a screw press and heat it up, and there's a lot of heat involved, just like making corn oil or any of these other seed oils. I've used seed oil presses where it's like a corkscrew type press where it screws the seed toward a heated shaft, and then it comes out the holes at the bottom and it heats up the seed, crushes it, and the oil is expressed out of it. So that's how they do it. And yes, they can then run biodiesel, diesel motors, off of that.
I often wonder how they do that with things like vegetable oil. We're told it's vegetable oil, but yet I cook vegetables every night of the week here, and I don't ever see a film of oil on the top of there.
No, you got a point there. I'll tell you what I've given up buying. Well, in the summer I'd give up buying is broccoli. You buy it, in about a day, it's gone off. It just goes off almost immediately.
Get to your local farm shop. I buy one here from Greenfields in Telford, and it'll last me the week. It'll stay green and fresh and brilliant.
Well, the farm shop I walk to, which is near where I live, doesn't sell vegetables. I asked why, and they said, "Oh, it's just too much hassle, so they don't sell vegetables." And
it's like our grocery store in town here. The produce is terrible. They've got all sorts of canned goods and things that are, okay, but the produce is just junk.
Oh, it is.
It's like we wish we had a co-op type grocery store where they bring in fresh produce and all sorts of fresh mushrooms and all the other kind of stuff go along with it.
That idea, from France, I think that's superb. It really is, because when the Bowl Hat Farmer was on, and I may have got this wrong, he said supermarkets only work on a 3% profit margin. If it goes to 2%, then they have a directors meeting, and 1%, they're really in trouble. And we can vote with their feet. That's the thing. We vote with their feet.
But the trouble is the government steps in and taxes the stuff that's locally grown. That's the problem.
That's right. And all this thing over here, I suppose the same in the States. If it's organic, the amount of bureaucracy involved is phenomenal. It really is. That's why I buy stuff which they say is organic, but they don't. They can't claim it's organic because they can't afford to go around with all the bureaucracy and that.
The insurance companies too. It's like the medical industry with insurance companies. The same thing with food, and even like we had a local pub here burned down, and the new owner bought it and they rebuilt it. But the state steps in, the insurance company steps in and says, "Well, you got to put in a water sprinkler system now," and $700,000 later, they've got a sprinkler system and $700,000 in debt. I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, it does get
insane.
I think health and safety, that's another one I bang on about. Yes, I believe in health and safety using intelligence, using logic, but it goes out the window and it sometimes makes a place less safe if it goes over the top. I mean, for example, when you go out on a push bike, you can choose whether you wear a cycle helmet or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends,
Well, does having insurance make you a better driver?
No.
I think it would incentivize not caring so much because insurance will take care of it.
Well, I agree with you. I don't, as I said before, I don't believe in driving licenses. I don't believe in licenses for anything, really. Why should you pay? Why should you have a driving license when you can just
when you know if you can drive or not? You're right.
That's right.
Same with like pilots.
And all the time they're trying to push this kind of distrust all the time. You've got to prove this, prove that, prove that. And I like the old-fashioned way of doing it. Whereas if a doctor was crap, nobody would go to him. You go out of business. You had to be good to continue. And I've worked with contract blokes who have been overseas to third world countries, and there's one bloke, he'd been halfway around the world doing work, and he said the first place he'd never eat in a touristy hotel or Western hotel. He said he'd always go down to the markets and get on the end of the longest queue for street food. And he said he never had stomach problems, whereas the people who stay in the hotel, he worked in an office once where he was the only one working in the morning. Everybody gone down with dysentery, or not dysentery, or stuff, a bad stomach. And he said these street food places were spotlessly clean, and they had to be good because if they were bad, the locals wouldn't go to them. And he said he used to stick out like a sore thumb as the only Westerner standing in the queue. People say, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I'm doing what you're doing, mate. I'm eating the street food." And he never had any stomach problems with eating street food, And he said, because as I say, you had to be good to survive street because there's so many street vendors selling stuff. If you're bad, you wouldn't last. Nobody go to you. And word got round. And that's how it should be. And we don't need all this government registration and stuff like that.
Health and safety is all common sense, and
it is.
And does it actually make any difference? I mean, I get fed up of the I was at Wakefield Westgate weeks ago taking a few pictures of the trains, and I literally got my foot over the yellow line down the
I remember you
platform.
saying, yeah.
And this woman walked all the way down. She said, "Oh, can you get back from the yellow line?" I thought, I've been around trains a lot longer than you. I've walked
Yeah.
around train depots in Belgium, in the Czech Republic, and I'm still here. I know what I'm doing. I can see where there's a train coming on, and there is no train in sight, so I think I'm pretty safe. But they don't want to know. They don't get back, because they're afraid of being sued should I happen to trip over and end up on the track. But
That's right.
let me
Yeah.
look after my own safety. I'm more than capable. I've managed 49 years so far. It does, yeah.
Right.
Health and safety. I understand some bits of it, obviously in
Some of it's good.
workplaces and so on. Yes, that
I
makes
agree.
sense.
And health and safety at work, very good. But if it's not gone over the top, this is where people, when I write these articles, people think, "Oh, he's against health and safety." No, I'm not. But I'm used to common sense. I mean, I'll tell you another one that was terrible fatalities in the 50s and 60s with motor racing. You used to have there was the Mille Miglia, I think it was in Italy. I used to have people staying right next to the road as on an outside bend, and a car would come skidding off the outside bend and straight into the people and injure or kill, loads of people. They've now made that safe now with crash barriers, and people are back by a certain amount. That's good. I agree with being safety, things like that.
Being careful.
Being careful. That's it. Not stupid. And when I say it's good, it's not good that people crash, but it's good that they stop people crashing. Also, in racing cars, they've now got fireproof suits they wear, where people are not burnt like Niki Lauda was, and they wear, crash helmets and things like that. That's all very, very good. But it goes over the top. I mean, luckily they're not going to do it, but there was talk of them once making it compulsory to wear, and I don't think they can by law, to wear cycle helmets when you're riding a bike. And I think it's in New Zealand or Canada where
Australia they do.
Yeah. Now, why can't I choose? I mean, I've been cycling for years.
Well, the thing is, if you're on your push bike and you've got a helmet on and you fall off and a tractor runs over your head, is it going to make a blind bit of difference? But I'm sure, unless the helmet's there to scrape up all the bits to keep it in one place, I don't see. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't, would it? Because cycle helmets have holes in, so it just spurt out like a raspberry or something, wouldn't it?
Well, when I came off my bike, knocked myself unconscious for about half an hour. I was out for a long time. I didn't have a helmet on, but I had a woolly hat, and that must have protected me. But I think that cycle lanes, and this was on a cycle lane, not on the road. Lucky some school kids found me, and I thought, ugh. But the thing is, it's a risk that you take. It's a risk. Let's face it. You could have insurance against a pigeon crapping on your head. How many times has a pigeon crapped on your head?
Well, it's like in our offices, we have, and the same like if you go into public loos now, you have when you go to wash your hands, it says, "Be aware, hot water." You think, well, if I put the hot tap on, I'd expect to have hot water out of it. How come I don't get a warning for the cold tap? Because that might actually, bloody hell, this is cold. I've had a heart attack because of it. But do people not know? Do people think, well, if I turn the hot tap on, what's going to come out?
Well, it's like workshop manuals. Workshop manuals of about 50 years ago would tell you what the how to test the battery and things like that. Modern workshop manuals say, "Warning: do not drink the battery acid." That's how they've dumbed down people,
Yeah.
But now DJ B2, hello mate, says McDonald's keeps settling lawsuits re human meat found in burgers. Is that true? I don't know. I mean, has it got plenty of body in it?
There's a reason why they say that it's their staff that make it.
Well, that's what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa disappeared. They say he landed in a meat grinder.
And do you know where the saying "sweet FA" comes from?
Sweet what?
Sweet FA.
FA?
Yeah. Well, it sounds rude, but people think it means F all. But apparently, there was a little girl called Fanny Adams in the Victorian times who went missing, and she was murdered. And they reckon the way the murderer got away with it is she was ground up with the mincemeat.
Ugh.
Now, around about that time, corned beef in tins was invented, and the
Spam.
first people to buy up all the tins of this corned beef was the Navy, the British Navy, the Royal Navy, and having a good sense of humour. This unusual meat, which comes out of cans, must have been quite a novelty in those days. The sailors used to say, "What is this? Sweet FA? Meaning is this sweet Fanny Adams?" That it's kept. People think it means FO, but it doesn't. It means Fanny Adams. That's now. Is Jennifer Aniston? Is she a tranny? Hey?
I've just had a quick look again. Another one with a massive
no
neck.
Idea.
Is she? It.
I think it's probably the best description. Yes, unfortunately, yes. I think they all are. Most of them. If you look at the blokes as well, people like Stallone and the guy who plays in Ant-Man, the chap who plays Scott Lang in there. If you have a look at how they stand, they stand like women. They're weird. They're completely opposite of what you think they are.
They're making frigging frogs gay. Well, it's like that graffiti scratched on the wall. My mother made me gay. No. My mother made me a homosexual. And someone wrote underneath, "If I give her the wall, can she knit me one as well?" Sorry. and Mike Mantis 41 says, "Big testicles as well, no doubt." And then we got here. And then we've got that. Then we've got the Sweets. This is Mike Mantis says the Sweets' second album was called Sweet Fanny Adams.
Was it?
Was it? I can't remember.
And sweet, huh? I'll look that up right now.
Yes,
I'll consult
the Jolly Man
knowledge.
Uri Geller never used gallium inserts in his steel spoons. Cheetah can run at 70 miles per hour, and lemmings jump off cliffs in suicidal death jumps, if you believe the BBC. Yes, poor little lemmings. They don't. And I believed it. It was a bloke with a bucket full of lemmings chucking the poor sods over a mound and had the camera at low angle.
They're right. Their fourth album in the UK was Sweet Fanny Adams. You're right.
Oh, not the lemmings.
Yeah. Well. That's interesting. Yes. Sweet FA. Not many people know that.
No, an American would have no clue what you're talking about.
What?
Most.
I'd say. Yeah. What? Sweet Fanny Adams.
Yeah, they'd have no idea what that means.
Not many people over here would know who Fanny Adams was. It's just that I've found this out, sort of. Oh, hang on, we got yes, folks. Yes, we got some more trannies here.
Oh boy,
Sandra Bullock.
Now, hang on. Mark Mantis says Uri Geller extremely hard to stab. I don't know, because did you see that bloke that found him out? You know, he saw the spiritual stuff and things like that. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock.
Who was that? I just saw a comment about the bowler hat farmer. Do you see that?
Where is it? I can't see
above. Arsberger's Fudge wrote something.
I know he sent a message to him on Facebook.
He had tomorrow penciled in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Why, you got a double book now, huh?
I think.
Who's on for tomorrow?
Hang on a minute. Have I made the balls up?
Sandra Bullock has.
Hang on a minute. 23rd. It's the 23rd. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I haven't made the balls up. Yeah. No, tomorrow it's Survival Steve. And he's on a Friday special and all Survival Steve as well. Trying out to survive.
And, a Friday special? What do you mean?
Well, the end of every month, Nathan Lucius suggested that we have a Friday special. I said, that's a bloody good idea. So we did the first Friday special with Nathan. And after that, he didn't do any more. So
that's why it was special. It was a one-off.
It's not special, yeah. It's just one, but we brought it back again, you see. And we got some good guests lined up here. See, Eric's having a senior moment. Mark Anthony said, yes. And, was it? You're telling me Dame Edna is a man next?
I even know who that is as an American.
Well, actually, he didn't like doing Dame Edna, and it was a gag that he did at university. It came from that, but I preferred him as the Australian cultural attaché, Les Patterson, or Sir Les Patterson. It was brilliant, and I worked with an Irish bloke that went to see him live, and even he was disgusted. He said he's standing, he's got all stains all down the front of his suit, and he's picking his nose. Oh, I've got a pig in here. He's supposed to be the Australian cultural attaché. Have you seen the film of him where he breaks wind? Oh, it's classic. He has a bit too much to drink, and he's at the United Nations place, and they're giving him beans and coffee and that to sort of make him a bit, he said, no problem, I'm all right, no sweat, I'm all right. And what happens, he goes up to the rostrum, he bends down to pick some papers up, and breaks wind, and someone's just lighting a cigarette at the time. It blows goes to fire. And, oh, crumbs. Yes, the record was, he did a record called 12 Inches of Sir Les. It's my sense of humour. It was unbelievable. But no, anyway, it was, as I say, tomorrow we did have Survival Steve. I'll have to have a word with the Bull Rat Farmer on. He might be coming on tomorrow. And I'm sure Steve is a very reasonable man. I'm sure he'll move. I'm sorry, mate, if he's listening in. But on next Sunday, we've got Greg Garrett, the corporate yogi. And on the Monday, the 1st, we've got the John Starkey live, who is probably one of the, he can actually, what they call it? He can foresee things. He's, he used to be astrologer and clairvoyant, and he used to be on LBC with Clive Ball. He did it for 4 years, and when people phoned up, he'd say things like, yes, you've got a red dressing table, and on top of that you'll find a wedding ring. And they say, how do you know? And he had this incredible, he was one of the best. So I'm really lucky to get him on. That's John Starkey, and that's thanks to Greg Garrett. He got John Starkey on, so thanks, Greg.
I've got a meme about astrology. It goes, stop blaming yourself for your failures, learn astrology, and blame the planets.
But now the Jollymans said, Michelle or Michael Obama is this century's most inspirational woman. I think you can leave the WO off the front of that last word.
Didn't they have a painting done for the Obamas, and apparently they even got the man sausage on that painting with Michelle and all. Every detail was there, clearly.
What about that goofy New Zealand Prime Minister? What was her name? His name
Jacinda Ardern.
Jacinda. Yeah, and have you seen the one when she is in a dress and she's got the old meat and 2 veg swinging in the breeze? What got me?
The one with the cocaine.
Why did she become so ugly? Or he or whatever it was? Because she was quite attractive at one time, suddenly became ugly.
Well, I'd say her soul became ugly, especially with COVID lockdowns and what she did to the country. So yeah, it's their soul.
And apparently, apparently it's now doing laps of Aintree.
And there were rumours Lily Savage, you would know who that was, Patrick, being a bloke, but I'm not convinced he was a drag act, actually, Lily Savage. Yeah, he died recently, didn't he? What was his name there?
Yeah, Paul O'Grady.
Paul O'Grady, yes. That sounds like something out of the Oz magazine, was it? But something, Paul O'Grady, the old lady, her adventures with 2 shopping bags or something.
We literally had one as our health secretary under Biden. His name was his original name was I remember
went
by Rachel Levine, and original name was Richard or Dick.
That's it,
Levine.
Dick. Big Dick. But what is this big thing about it? I mean, I feel very, very sorry for anybody that feels they're born in the wrong body. I really do have great sympathy.
It's something to do with they hate their mother. That's what I've come to the conclusion. And its father.
I didn't get on too well with my mum, but it doesn't make me that way, you know. But the thing is that no, there are some people that have got this problem where they believe they're born in the wrong body, and I do feel genuinely sorry for them. But they're a very small minority, and what I'm worried about is teenagers that easily, shall we say, they'll accept things, and they will easily believe.
Yeah, it's usually the mom that encourages that I've seen. It's the tranny mammy syndrome.
Yeah.
I think a lot with this, with like the celebrities and stuff. I mean, I would recommend. I don't know if people are interested in the Marvel films, but I would recommend looking through those because there's a lot of truth in a lot of the Marvel films. In fairness, but I've been watching the Endgame, one of the final Avengers ones, and just look at with the exception of Scarlett Johansson and the woman who plays the Green Girl, whatever her name is. Every other one on there, Gwyneth Paltrow and all this, they've all got massively humongous necks, like they're blokes.
You know, I was listening to E. Michael Jones, who runs a magazine called Culture Wars magazine out of Indiana, talking about the X-Men movies and how it's basically the X-Men. It's the mutants. It's a code for homosexuality. If you look at it, the videos or the movies that they do on that, from that basis, it kind of makes sense to me. It's like you belong to a special club of elite, people who are outcast and all this kind of stuff. It goes in.
But the thing is, there are always minority groups throughout the world. Always has been, always will be. What's the big deal? But the thing is, communism, what it does, it tries to make the minority groups, bringing them out in the way to confuse people, and a confused population is a manipulated one, especially one that's fearful.
It's because of socialism.
It's socialism.
It's forcing groups of people, and it goes to religion ultimately, making religions, breaking down the barriers of those religions and making them all equal. Well, the religions themselves don't teach that usually. They teach them as being separate. And when you artificially try to make them commingle with each other, it doesn't work out all. And then they wonder why communism was never worked in any particular country, because it's just not human nature. We're meant to be different if we've got different beliefs.
Well, that's it. And the other thing is that what these people who are pushing all this situation forward, the minority groups, what they don't realise is, if you listen to Yuri Bezmenov, he said they're being used for a reason. And once they've served their useful purpose, it's goodbye.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, they're all inverts, aren't they?
I'm going to have to go here at the top of the hour, just so I
understand. You know. Well, we got a message from the Bowler Hat Farm.
Yeah.
From Mark. Here he is. Hang on, I don't know if you can see it. Well, I'll read it out. It says, Chris, I'm so sorry. I got in my diaries Monday night, just got home and had a message from someone saying it was tonight. My mistake. I owe you one, mate. That's all right, because our reliable Patrick and Anorak have stepped up to the plate and done a remarkable job. So I'm doing a remarkable job. So thank you very much. You saved the day.
Just going to the back to the subject of the inverts. It's because that's who they celebrate. They worship the satanic side, and Satan is deemed as to have both genders. That's right. That's what all this is about. This blokes as women and women as blokes. That's what that's all about.
I'm going to step out, you two. You have a good night. And
sorry about that.
All right. It's all right.
Okay.
No, thank you very much.
Okay, you guys saw you and
thanks, Patrick.
Yep. Cheers. God bless.
Nice chat as always.
Yep. And good afternoon, we say to you, because it's your afternoon there.
Thank you.
4 o'clock, isn't it? So have a great day.
Cheers.
See you, Patrick.
Take care.
Thanks for coming on. Bye. Now we got here Brigitte Macron is also a woman. No.
It's across the board, isn't it? At the end of the day, I feel sorry for the youngsters who are coming up now because it's deliberately being done to confuse what gender they are, and all this Pride Month, with demon in the middle of it, demon in the middle of the two, and it's the 6th month, which is obviously 33. It's it's. I feel for them. I really do.
Well, I worked with a girl who was gay. I didn't know that because I quite fancied her, actually. She had a partner. And this is when I worked down at Longacre. And nearby, down the embankment, because we used to work sometimes sort of 6 or 7 days a week because it was quite an intensive project. And one Saturday I went in and they had this grey pride thing on the embankment, which wasn't too far away. And in the sort of lunch hour, we used to leave just after lunch. We got into a long conversation, and she was totally against this gay pride thing. And there's somebody else who comments, evening John, if you're watching, called John, and he comments on BitChute, and it's the same him. He is totally against it because they realise that they're being used and abused in many ways because they are a minority group. I mean, okay, left-handed people. Now, I am left-handed, so why can't we have left-handed pride or left-handed this left? I mean, you used to go into a bank and the bloody pens were always on the other side of the table, and being left-handed, it was very difficult. I've got fountain pens. They're all for right-handers. There's only one company, I think it's Osmeroid, that did left-handed fountain pens because I like fountain pens. So you're sort of cack-handed, and that's the thing.
Well, we back in my previous job, I used to work within the stationery industry, and if you had people who were left-handed, they were always recommended to use a biro because obviously, if you're right-handed, your pen follows what you're writing down follows your hand, whereas the other way around, your hand follows the pen.
That's right.
So you have the risk of smudging what you've written down. So you was told to have, if somebody said, "Oh, when we somebody is left-handed," we'd offer them a ballpoint pen or an ink, an oil-based ink, so that when they wrote, it didn't smudge.
But
lots of useless information.
Oh yeah, and also left-handers, we use the opposite side of our brain, and we don't tend to get seasick. That's another weird thing. Because
I'm left-handed, but I do. I've said boats are my least favourite form of transport, and I did my first trip across Europe was on the ferry from Dover to Calais. I'll tell you what, if somebody had said to me, "There's 50 grand, find the centre of that boat," I did it. It was the only bit on the boat that didn't move.
Did you say that? I missed it. Did you say you're left-handed?
Yeah. I'm actually ambidextrous.
I'm slightly ambidextrous.
I went to a stupid Catholic school. No offense to Patrick, who basically forced me to write with my right hand.
Really?
So my handwriting's awful, but I can sort of write with my left hand. But yeah, I'm ambidextrous, if that's the right word. Yeah.
I know in India there's very few left-handed people because they forced. I don't think they do it nowadays, but they forced left-handers to use their right hand. They was going to my school, but my mother put her foot down and said, "No, he's left-handed and he stays left-handed." And luckily, I wasn't forced to use my right hand. But it comes in handy because I'm ambidextrous with badminton. If I play badminton, I can just change. I'm equally useless with my left hand or right hand with that. And knock 9 bells of crap and miss. That is with that badminton, you actually rack it a dead budgie over the net, don't you?
I was going to say, yeah, I have played badminton. It's quite a good game actually if you can get into it.
Yeah,
it's certainly safer than playing tennis, for example, where you run the risk of getting a tennis ball in the face and.
Oh yeah. But I'm not really. That's the only sport I did badly. I'm not really into sport that much. I don't watch football or anything like that. But I think that really there are advantages to being left-handed. I mean, in architecture, more people left-handed than most other professions. And I worked in an office once where there was only 2 blokes that were right-handed. The rest of us were left-handed. And it's quite, but there's famous people that are left-handed. and a famous left-hander is Bill Gates. He's left-handed.
God.
I think Obama is. I know that
I bet Michelle likes
Clinton,
that.
Yeah, Clinton, I think, was left-handed, and so was Bush Senior. I think left-handed. Loads of presidents. It's very strange. Have been left-handed.
My bloodline don't link back to them.
Yeah, please don't
let that be the case. Please let it be the milkman. That'll do fine.
But I actually found it's the first son after the first daughter's left-handed in my family, because my granddad on my father's side was left-handed, and he was the first son after the first daughter, and I'm the first son after the first daughter. So I don't know, but I kind of like being left-handed. I've got used to it now, and But is there anybody else in chat who's left-handed, who's a left-hander? I'm just trying to think of some other people, famous left-handers. I think there's a famous Roman that was left-handed, because I know that in the Roman army you got double the pay because you stabbed with your left hand, not your right hand. So there's an advantage. And so you got, that's pretty good. And did you know why Boy Scouts shake hands with the left hand?
No, I wouldn't like to say.
Well, it's quite interesting. It's Lord Baden-Powell met an African tribe when he was out in the war, who, if they thought they honoured you and thought you were an incredibly brave person, they'd shake your left hand and not your right hand. And that's how he got it from.
Well,
interesting. Yes, and I'm going to sneeze any moment. I think so. Yes, live on air is a Fockham Hall sneeze. I
was intrigued with that the comment from the Jolly Man about the flight MH370. I decoded that. That was and somebody said, the plane that ended up apparently in the bottom of the Indian Ocean.
Yes. Oh yes, I remember that.
Somebody sent me some footage of that where you could see some orbs flying around the plane, and the plane just vanished. It didn't actually crash, but I had to go at decoding that, and even down to the pilot's name. The news article said that they said the pilot wasn't on a murder-suicide, and his name matched exactly across all the ciphers to murder-suicide.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you something weird that happened the other morning. Now, I've got 2 iPads, and I always walk like this, and one older one and one newer one, you see, and they were next to each other on a table down in the kitchen. Okay. Got up next morning, switched the iPad on, dizzle-dodo. That's weird. So I picked hold of the other one, dizzle-dodo. Both their batteries are empty. I charged them up. They're all right now. Isn't that weird? And both of them had some power in them. So something a bit weird there.
Well, I'm going to propose the question then. Do you think we sleep for longer than we're told? And the reason why I say this is because, and I may have mentioned this before, some mornings, especially like during the summertime, I never set an alarm clock now. I just wake up naturally. Even though I'm going to work, I still don't set an alarm clock. And some mornings I've sort of woken up at 6 o'clock and thought, I'm gonna have a piss, get back into bed, and I'll have snooze for 20 minutes. And you go back off to sleep and it feels like you've been asleep for absolutely hours. And you look at the clock and then you wake up again and it says 6:10, and you think,
yes,
I feel like I've been asleep for absolutely hours. And I had that one morning where 3 times in between 6 o'clock and 6:30, I had exactly the same feeling. I went to sleep, felt like I was asleep for hours, and it literally gone past about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's weird.
I've had
properly
that.
Weird.
It's funny you should say that. I've had exactly the same, because I like dozing. It's like a hobby. I love sort of laying in a half sleep, half awake mode. It's quite nice. It's relaxing, and I generally wake up about 5 o'clock every morning. I don't know why, because did I tell you, between you and I, you see, I went to see Miles, Dr. Miles, and I said, Miles, I've got this problem. It's embarrassing. I ease my bowels regularly at 6 o'clock every morning. He said, well, what's wrong with that? I said, well, I don't get out of bed till 7. But it's funny you should say that about time. Time is definitely speeding up. I'm finding I'm get less done in a day than I used to. I don't know quite
Well,
why.
Well, I find that on the train journey. Sorry to mention the train journey thing briefly. Coming back from Wolverhampton, sometimes you get the stopping train, which does all shacks, and then
Yeah.
the following one goes straight through. And sometimes I've got on the stopping train and I've remembered sort of the first station it pulling in at, and then I look out the window again and it's sort of 3 stations down the line. I think I don't remember any of the previous. I don't remember seeing anybody getting on, getting off, the train stopping, the train starting. I didn't see or hear anything. And it's as though that section's been removed from the journey. It
Oh,
obviously did. It's
yeah.
the same thing. And I've had it on the buses as well. When I used to go up to Shrewsbury on a regular basis, I used to do our X5 up, and the bus goes on. It goes on the motorway along the M54 into Shrewsbury, and you get on there again. Same thing. I've got on it, and we got onto the motorway, and then the next thing I looked, we're coming off it, and I thought, well, I don't remember any of that. What happened? I didn't see any vehicles, nothing. It's so sort of either stepping out or I don't know. It's weird. It's really
Well, some years
strange.
ago, I went for a very long walk, and when I come back, I couldn't remember any of it, and I'd crossed several main roads. And why I didn't remember it, Christ knows what. Right, but I must have been aware to cross these main roads. I was in one piece. So how comes I didn't remember it? I was almost on sort of automatic mode. Sort of. It's strange, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's weird. But it makes you think now that when they say about there's no eyewitnesses to a certain event that may have taken place, it's not surprising as if people are walking around. I mean, I consider myself to be fairly awake and conscious of what's going on around. But even then, it's weird, very strange.
I'll get that with my car, though. I mean, I've driven, say, a long distance in my car, and I can't remember the actual distance, what gear I was in. I must have stopped at the traffic lights. I must have gone round and roundabout okay, but I just don't remember it. Because I suppose, if you're doing it regularly, I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
I've had that, sometimes. Now, the Jollyman, and apparently it's quite common. Loads of people get that as well. Younger people as well get it. And the Jollyman says, why are the dinosaurs in museums made from crushed chicken bones and resin? Why are the real dinosaurs radioactive and hidden away? I don't know, and I'm questioning dinosaurs and nuclear bombs.
I was going to say exactly the same. I'm not on board with dinosaurs. I don't believe they existed, and I think that the giants that they talk about are things like the Nephilim, the actual giants that built a lot of these buildings that seem completely pointless in like some of the massive churches that where there's a door in and it's 40 foot tall, and you think, well, our beings are 6 foot, 7 foot at the max.
That's right.
Why would you build a door that's 40 foot tall unless the beings were 40 foot tall?
Well, you got a good point there, but I mean, one thing I question is this Tartaria thing. I think, between you and I think it's bullshit, most of it, because this idea, I mean, they're going over the top on the internet about cathedrals being places where they could harness the energy from above the ether, and they could plug electric things in. And in Edwardian times, the electricity was far more advanced. I'm sorry, that is bullshit. Loads of people got electrocuted in the late Edwardian times. They didn't. And this myth about electric cars were shit in the Edwardian times, and they're still shit. They haven't improved upon it.
I'm probably going to disagree with you a bit on that, because I do believe that cathedrals and churches were built for that purpose, especially before. If you look at a lot of how to explain, where a lot of them have got a copper dome, or there'll be a gold antenna on the top, which is used for energy, and then you'll have a thing underneath which will be made of copper, which again produces perfect energy.
Really?
And the open section on the top of the buildings would have held something like mercury. And you'll see the same design of building here in the UK, in France, in Germany, in China, in exactly the same, basically built in exactly the same way in different parts. And things like the Arc de Triomphe is deemed to be basically like a big horseshoe magnet to provide free energy. I believe that the energy we get is free, and
I believe in free energy. Yes, I agree with you there.
Because I think things like pylons, for example, and I've said this before, that when they took down Ironbridge Power Station here, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. And when I used to travel back to town, you could see the pylons going across the power station. Well, the pylons still go to the power station, but the power station isn't there anymore. So where's the power coming from for those pylons? And I believe that follows the same pattern as the Tartaria stuff, in that the pylons themselves go to a point, like the gold crosses and stuff, and they harness the energy from above. That's
you
my
have a good
feeling on
point
that.
there. You've got a good point, but the thing is, I believe cathedrals are probably healing centres. That's my and the pyramids. But when it's actual Tartaria, I think it's like everything. It's like UFOs, ghosts, and that. The government's misinformation department has got hold of it and shook it by its head and is coming out with bullshit to put people off the scent. I really do believe that. Now, for example, UFOs, the government have done a hell of a lot of work in the UFOs. So you'll have one very truthful one, and you'll have about 20 which are just hoaxes that the government has just thrown into the mix to throw people here, there, and everywhere off there. I don't know whether there is UFOs or not. I've seen unidentified flying objects. I just don't know. I keep an open mind, but I just don't know. It's something that I find interesting. Yes.
With my approach on what I think the Earth is or what we're on, I don't think that there are such things. There may be UFOs that can get in through portals, things like that, but I don't think they can get in through the dome or the firmament or whatever we want to call it. I don't think anything can get in from space, in inverted commas, into us. Where there's portals, though, and again, this links back to. Sorry, I know I keep jumping from topic to topic here.
That's perfectly okay.
This links back to when I was talking about the Marvel films. I think there's a lot of truth in the Marvel films because they tell you a lot in there about once you understand, when you're on board on these rabbit holes that we've been down, you start and see actually maybe they're telling us a bit of truth in that. Like for example, like I said about the one where in the first Avengers, where Thor stands on top of a pointed building and gets the energy from above, which links back down to the cathedrals and churches, or the old world buildings with the point on the top would harness energy. And you think, well, is there a bit of a truth in that?
Well, it could be, because what gets me is when you look at the way the Rockefellers have screwed the medical industry, the food industry, and almost everything that you look at, and the way history has been corrupted. We have literally been fed a pack of lies, and it's very difficult to work out the truth from the fiction. And Mike Mathis has come up with an interesting one here. There's a good book around called The Transgender Industrial Complex. Difficult to get hold of for some reason. Yes, that's quite interesting, mate. Very interesting. Thanks for that. Yes.
Well, that with the electricity, the energy is one of the things I do question everything, as you know, Chris. And one of the things I've been asking myself is about the London Underground, in that the London Underground had electric trains, and I've supposed there's a couple of times before, back in the early 1900s. 1902 is some of the oldest electric trains down there. How do they power them trains? Because there was no power stations apparently back then. So where would they have got the energy from in order to power trains that old? And the same in New York. New York is exactly the same. The New York subways, their oldest electric trains were 1907, and the same applies. Where were the power stations? There was no power stations, so the energy must have been coming from somewhere else.
So that's an interesting point, actually, because I know the first underground was the Circle Line, and they had steam trains going under there.
Yeah. The subsurface ones were steam-hauled, but the deep tunnel ones, like the Bakerloo Line and the Northern Line, or whatever, their oldest trains were, and so 1902, 1903, 1938 stock. That was they started using that on the Isle of Wight in the latter
That's
years.
right. Yes.
But yeah,
But
how do they power them? It's so many questions there's so many answers out there we don't have the answers to. But it's a lot of questions.
The longest journey between stations on the tube, I believe, is from Finsbury Park to Manor House. It's a long way. And I was actually in the tube full rush hour when the train did an emergency stop and all the lights went out. And it was like that for ages. And I'll tell you something, the claustrophobia is unbelievable. How people survive in submarines, I do not know, because I was crammed up against the door. I couldn't move. And after a while, your imagination starts to take over.
Yes, yeah.
And people are, because the air gets really thick, because the tubes, that's how they get the air through.
The trains push it
the
along,
trains
yeah.
moving. When you stay, and you're sort of, as you breathe in, you think, oh my God, fathers, you can hardly sort of, and they were talking about smashing the windows. I said, come on, let's smash the windows. And some women were screaming and that, and it was quite horrendous. And I was down there for about an hour, I think it was. Bloody awful. And when we got into, I think it was Finsbury Park, the doors opened and people literally fell out, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I after that I don't like going by tube. In fact, I don't like London. I don't like crowded cities. I'm a country boy. If Earth is orbiting, this is one for you, the Jolly Man. Yeah, if Earth is orbiting the Sun, tilted at 23.4 degrees axis tilt, in line with Polaris, then every 6 months we have increased our orbital velocity from 480,000 miles per hour to 518 miles per hour. Now that's interesting, isn't it?
I don't have an answer on that one, but I certainly don't think we're moving. I know we talked about this last week, and yeah, I don't think there's more. Everything I read now and understand goes against NASA, basically what they tell us is a pack of lies. Every bit of it.
Well, I agree with you. Well, NASA was set up by a bunch of weird, very strange people. We have seen pictures of the World Fairs moving sidewalks. Yes, I've seen that. Yes. I'm actually a big I love steam engines, and I strongly believe that steam engines will come back. I really do believe that, because we've got 400 years worth of coal underneath us. We've got, water is abundance everywhere, although oil is the second most abundant liquid on Earth. And if they could say we went back to coal-powered fire stations, and we were the most advanced with the pollution-free power stations that were really quite clean, we had scrubbers and things like that on the chimneys. We've lost that technology. That was in the 80s before they were closed down. But if we have coal-powered fire stations, and we rediscovered that technology, we could have steam trains run by electricity, where the boilers are actually heating up from electricity. That would be quite interesting, quite clean.
Well, it's interesting that with the loss of Iron Bridge Power Station here, we also lost Ruggie Power Station, and there was one over towards Derby, the Willington Power Station. They all came down very close proximity. Fiddler's Ferry in Warrington also came down, and they seem to, once they closed them, they seem to be very quick to dispose of them, as though there's some technology or something in there that they don't want us to see. Because I mean, personally, I think the cooling towers are actually they're quite a pleasant thing to look at. I mean, Iron Bridge Power Station's was in a valley full of old buildings, but I'll tell you what, the power station had its own charm, and
I know what you mean.
Nice travelling along and just see the cooling towers come into view. They're beautiful looking things.
And also, gliders use those cooling towers as artificial thermals to gain height, because glider pilots look for thermals. And Mike Mantis said, Martin Littke is good on Tartaria, etc. That's interesting.
It is an interesting topic, Tartaria, because a certain Russian president apparently handed over a Tartaria map to somebody. I can't remember what that was all about, but apparently he handed a Tartaria map across to somebody to say, there you go, that's the real Earth.
That's interesting because I like what you said on when we were talking about Tartaria with that fella on the other week. You said you thought it was a red light district, didn't you? Or something?
Tartaria, yeah, very good.
Yeah. But King Richard of Spain found an island in the Pacific, greeted by giants, met the humans, noticed the gold, returned with an armada, and the island had gone. Now there's an interesting.
Well, look at all the giant skeletons that get found, and then the government take them away and destroy them.
Well, Blu-rays. That's right.
What they're trying to hide? Then with the giants were giants. Who cares? As we know they were. I think they need to stop taking our history away from us and start telling us the truth. Really.
Well, even in modern history, when I showed my father, who was actually in D-Day, Saving Private Ryan, we had to turn the film off because he's saying that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But Nikola Tesla said electricity came from the ether. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
which again links back to what I was saying about the Marvel films. I'm not promoting them, by the way, but it is worthy of a watch. One of the last Thors, it wasn't the Dark World. That's all about the ether, and the ether's deemed as evil, but which again they're inverts, so it's obviously good.
Well, did you see that? Now I don't know if it was true or not. I haven't, but it came over as true. When they went diving with these sort of drone things, or whatever you call them, on the Titanic, they found some energy coming from a part of the ship that had been locked away, which had been in like an airtight container. Because if the reason they don't see any bodies on the Titanic is because they've rotted away due to some chemical reaction. I'm not going to go. I don't understand. But anyway, what happened is one of the robots, they managed to unlock this area, this chamber in the Titanic, and to find out where this strange energy, this whatever it was coming from. And inside the chamber was a skeleton, and they showed you the skeleton on a seat with a pocket watch in its hand, and the watch was still going.
Wow.
And the two wires are coming from the pocket watch. And they reckoned that it was something that somebody had invented, which worked on, I don't know, some current in the ocean that could keep this pocket watch going. It's been going since 1913.
I had a similar scenario at our local bus stop the other morning. These two people were stood there, and they've been stood there that long. They'd actually died before the bus had turned up.
We're bleeding too far.
Wait a minute.
Now, was it? And a Jollyman said, "Gravity is a religious pseudo force, not real, only required for the heliocentric religion. RDD, relative density." Oh crumbs! We're getting some big words here. Disequilibrium and incoherent dielectric acceleration.
I certainly don't think gravity exists. I think that's it's all down to density. I agree with that.
Gravity's just getting me down. You know, it really is getting me down.
Yeah, a bit like lift maintenance. That gets me down.
That's right. Yeah.
But apparently, if you sell balloons, if you sell hot air balloons, or as in like party balloons, apparently every year you can increase the prices, and that's called inflation. Sorry, it's late. It's late in the evening now.
It says here, Mike Mantis says there's a lot of old tech that's been memory holds for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's been taken away from us that at the end of the day, we're paying for bills and stuff like that, which we shouldn't be paying for. It should be free.
That's right. Well, electricity and gas was free when it was first put on the national grid. This is a Warhead Rex, says building 6 molten salt reactors in Wyoming right now. Plans for many more. Yes, and also sand for storing heat, sand batteries. That's another one. And I'm thinking of actually making one I'm going to build what do you call it? A conservatory at the back, starting it from scratch, doing it myself. And I'm thinking of putting a sand thing in there so that it gets hot. Unfortunately, my kitchen faces north, so there's not much sun around there. So I'm thinking of having a solar panel on the front of the house, run it through the garage, and then that will be connected to um, an element like a kettle element in this sand battery. So if there's any light at all, this sand gets hot and it acts like a radiator. So I'll get free electricity being attached.
Well, don't they reckon that sand is linked to silicon, which is the old, again, back to the old world, Silicon Valley.
That's right.
And silicon apparently is one of the best. Was they say it's that life should have been silicon based, which would never get diseases and so on.
Yes. Oh yes, yes, you are interested. That's that's interesting. Yes.
Because I reckon that the deserts that we see are actually manufactured based. They're man-made. They're not natural places. It's basically the disposal of the silicon of the old world.
That's very, very interesting. And also why they dig down to find old stuff. Why is it buried? And it says Blu-ray says yes, hide the power stations being there part of the reset we're currently in.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I've been trying to work this out. I know, Melaine, we were talking about this. That from where I am now, I couldn't even tell you where our nearest power station is.
I know where
I couldn't.
Yes,
the nearest one from here now would probably be Drax Power Station or somewhere that way, or Sellafield. I can't think of. There's no power station local to us at all.
The only one I can think of is one that's opened up in Hoddesdon, which is about 5-6 miles from me. Probably less than that as a crow flies. Have a look. This is Mike Mantis. Says, have a look at Forbidden Archaeologist by Richard Thompson and Michael Cremo. Yes. Yes. And we're hoping to get John Hamer on here next year. He's really booked up at the moment, but he said he'd be free next year, so that's okay. And now, the gentleman says, it's not a credited, highly advanced, beyond our understanding dynamic system, fairly complex to design and create it into existence. Yes, I think we are being told a load of the shit of the bull. That's what we're told most of the time.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The old world energy would have been for healing us. Like with churches and cathedrals would have been used. The bells and organs would have been used.
Oh, bells are healing. Yes, bells are very healing.
And the same with things like your canals and waterways where you got arches, like aqueducts, for example. You got arches that keeps the water energized, which would then also heal us. We should be living till we're about 200 or 300 years old, not
I
like
agree
we do at the moment. We die a lot younger because we're effectively being slowly poisoned, I suppose, with everything that's around us. We need that old world back.
I agree.
Improvement.
I think that's taking a sort of a leaf out of Richard Vobes' latest. By the way, the Cremo book is a piece of work. Yeah, I agree with you. Richard Vobes' book, and that is, you look at the older world, they didn't have so much stresses as we have, and it was much slower. Everything was very, very slow, and it was more relaxed. I mean, I've been to the watermill near Welwyn Garden City, which is not far from me. And when you're in there, that mill is working. It's all timber it's made out of. It's relaxing. It's sort of boom, 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 boom. You could stay there all day, get your lunch there. It wouldn't matter. But you look at the mod stuff, like if it was a diesel one, it would go boom, 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 boom. You want to run out of there, it'd be noisy. It's all stressful all the time. We live in a stressful world, and we're not designed, but I agree with you. We should be living to about 300 years old. And talking about that, I'm actually studying acupressure, which is very different to acupuncture. because with acupuncture, which is what Dr. Miles Fleetwood does, who often comes on this show, you've got to be registered and you've got to go through proper courses to do it, because you're actually pressing needles into the skin, and it's quite highly regulated. I mean, the average person can't buy those needles. But with acupressure, you can, because people do it themselves, you can advise people without being registered. And providing it's under their own will and you tell them that you're not qualified in it, that's perfectly okay. And there's quite a few people on YouTube that are doing acupressure, and I found it works quite well with the different places where you press and all that. Like to get you off to sleep at night, you can actually press parts of your hand and things like that. And one I use is you close your eyes, and whilst your eyes are closed, you look left, right, up, and down, and that signals to your brain to shut down. Apparently, and that works very well with me. So, so when you if you can't get off to sleep, you just close your eyes, and whilst your eyes are closed, look left, look right, then up, then right, then down, and do it a few times, and that signals to your brain to kind of calm down a little bit.
Well, I find I used to have real issues with sleep years ago. I don't anymore, luckily. And at one point, I was on meds to help me get to sleep, but that was a different world many years ago. And then the thing beginning with C came along, and that's all sort of changed my attitude, and I started learning to chill out. I'm a lot more relaxed now than I used to be.
Yeah.
And now when I go to bed, I'll climb into bed, and the first thing I'll get myself chilled out, lie down, and the first thing I say is the Lord's Prayer, and I guarantee every night without fail, I'll start saying that, and I yawn every single night, and I've said it now every night for the last 5 or 6 years, and I get to about the first line, and I yawn every single time without fail. Don't know why, but it does. It works.
It's funny. We used to say that at school in assembly every day. And I always remember one thing: give us our daily bread. And all the kids used to say, give us our daily hovis. I've always remembered that. Why? Give us our daily. Now, the Jollyman said, I'm no longer an atheist or religious. Well, neither am I. The earth is a circle, Isaiah 40:22, made with a compass laid upon a face, which is bounded by its ends. It does not move and is covered by a firmament.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is the thing. Sorry, carry on, Paul. Okay.
I was going to say that it's like we were saying about like how things were made where we relax. I'd say something I really, really miss, and this is train related. The old clickety clack. That was when you're on a train and it's going clickety clack, clickety clack. It's a nice, relaxing sound. That, again, they take all this stuff away from us. I'm sure it's there. They take it away to make things more stressful. I used to love sitting on a train and just listening to that. I could listen to it all day long. It's brilliant.
I agree with you. Yes. In ancient civilizations, this is Blu-ray, says they could live to 900 years old. Yes, I think it's mentioned in the Bible. Jason Shirker did the Pyramid Code on YouTube. Yes. And I mean, the thing is that I'm not religious, but I like to believe that I'm spiritual. That, although it's for other people to judge, not me, because it's conceited to say, "Oh, I'm spiritual." I like to believe I am spiritual, and I think that it's like things like treading on graves. I'd never tread on a grave. To me, it's disrespect, and I've had that since a child. I don't know why. Nobody's ever told me about it. And I mean, and I've been to weddings where you get the press photographers, sorry, not the press, but you get the photographers standing on graves and things like that. I just think, no, it's disrespectful.
All I will say is that just remember the gravestone doesn't represent the individual in the ground because it's in capital letters.
You're right.
The caps letter is the straw man. So the gravestone, a bit like your birth certificate and all the other things that are legal related, are all to do with straw man. So my dad's gravestone doesn't represent my dad. My dad's name would be upper and lowercase, not all uppercase.
You're right. You're right.
So the gravestone, all the gravestone is basically saying is this worker's dead.
Well, it's a bit like, I was born, but it's in my birth certificate. So you see my name, Christopher David Powis, but people know me as Eric. And I kind of prefer Eric Von Esses. I think it sounds quite nice. I mean, I don't mind what people call me. I couldn't get a but I just, and I don't know where I got that name from. I just sort of, I don't know, just thought of it one day. I just don't know. It just sort of dreamt it up, and I kind of like it, and I've got used to it. People say, "Hello, Eric." Oh, hello. People know it's Eric. It's a bit like Falls on Horses. Was it Falls on Horses? All right, Dave. Yeah, but my name's not Dave. Yeah, okay, Dave.
They're naming it Rodney after Dave.
Rodney. Yeah. And I love the one with the broom. This broom is 25 years old, and it said, was it 6 handles and 4 heads?
They were classics. I haven't watched them for a long time, I have to say, but yeah,
that was a classic. And what was the other one? Yeah, my father come along to my christening, and it's really good of him because he was in the Navy, and he hadn't, and my mum hadn't seen him for a year and a half.
Yeah. It has to be said. I think Trigger was the one that actually made that.
Yeah.
As funny as it was, I know. And one of them, he says back he was at school and he walked into a mind your head sign, and one of them says, "Well, didn't you see it?" He said, "Yeah, of course I saw it." He said, "But in those days I couldn't read."
But he was a brilliant actor. I mean, that is real acting. They reckon that he was just deadpan. He would just carry it off. I think that out of all the actors, though, I think Ronnie Barker was one of the best because he was the part that he acted. And that is a true actor. He wasn't Ronnie Barker. He was that part. I mean, that was bloody brilliant.
The one with when he's in charge of the library. Oh, it's a green book. It's over there with all the green books. Oh, you need that? No, that's in the red. Those are the red books upstairs.
Or have you got a book on how to stop shouting? Pardon? Have you got a book on how to stop shouting? No, I'm looking for a book on how to hear better. Now, this is Mark Anthony. Hello, Mark. Okay. It says, I was on a steam train in Norfolk earlier in the year, and you are right, Paul. The clickety clack sounds so relaxing. It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It's hard to find now. It's very hard to find on them, especially on the main line. One of the few I found was the Cumbrian coastline down through Sellafield from Carlisle. That's pretty much all jointed track all the way. It's brilliant. I could spend hours on that and just sit back and listen to the old clickety clack and just watch the world go by. It's brilliant.
Well, there's certain things like my dad had a valve radio, and you switch it on, it'll sort of warm up, and the sound was measuring bass, very deep bass on it, and it was, but in a nice way, not like modern deep bass. And when you look at that, I mean, I find music from the 1940s, very relaxing. And it is very, and you listen to the music from the 30s and 40s, it's very, very relaxing. And I just think, why? Because they lived at a slower pace. And also, music of the 30s and 20s and 30s was happy music, and the same with the 40s and 50s, because people had gone through terrible wars and they wanted cheering up. That's it. They wanted happiness. But now,
going back to the clickety clack, that's one of the things I do enjoy about London and London as a whole is that, like for example, Waterloo. Pop outside Waterloo Station, you got Waterloo East along the top, and as the train leaves, there's always a joint at the end, the old click 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 click. It's just brilliant. It's bring it all back. It's all this modernisation is just junk. Just give us our old world back. It's brilliant.
There is a lot in the old world. I mean, what gets me is I think cars reached their peak in the 80s, where they didn't go wrong, and now we've got cars that are going wrong, and they shouldn't do. After all these years, cars should just work and go and go and go and go.
Well, the theory should be. Sorry, go on.
That's okay. Carry on, please.
I was going to say, well, the theory should be that if electric cars follow the same pattern as electric trains, they should never, ever, ever go wrong. To be honest, electric locomotives never go wrong, or very rarely. And a transformer may go, that needs changing. But there's I mean, I managed to go to the Czech Republic. There's locos there that are 70 years old, electric locos. And they're fine. They're easy to look after. They're easy to maintain. So in theory, electric cars, if they follow the same pattern as electric locomotives, should be very reliable, but they clearly aren't. They're clearly a load of shit.
Well, it's like buses. Now, the buses that they operate around here are about 10 or 20 years old, and they're crap. I mean, you go upstairs, because if I get on a bus, which I don't like public transport, but, you know,
No.
as I'm old enough to get my pass now, I think I'm a tight-fisted get. And you can't park anywhere around Waltham Cross. I might as well go by bus, because it's too cold to go by bike, because I don't want to get my arse frozen off on a bike. So, and you go upstairs, because I don't sit with the riffraff. I like to go upstairs, you see, and I always
You do sit upstairs.
Yeah, and what gets me? Sorry, what was that?
I said they usually do sit upstairs. That's where all the cannabis and stuff go.
Really?
If
Oh,
I could sit on the bus and work out. Oh, he's got a spliff. He's gone upstairs then.
Well, what gets me is the bloody thing's vibrating like anything. You know, you can have quite a sexual experience up there.
Oh, is that why you go upstairs then?
You get bleeding seasick as well, because it's swaying left and right. What I like is when it goes under trees. What is it about people that take so long to get on a bus? All right, dear. Oh, yes. Get on the bleeding bus, for Christ's sake, you know. But
it's not so much that. It's when people get on and then look for their fare. I think, well, you've been stood at the freaking bus stop for 20 minutes. Did you not think, well, I might need to get the fare out in time for the bus to turn up?
There's a question for you, Paul. Do they have bleeding heating on those buses, or is it just relies on body heat for the passengers? They do.
They put the heating on in the summer.
Yes.
And then by the time the bus has gone through and they've realised, oh, we need to turn the heating off now because it's summertime, it then gets to winter time and the heating's then off.
That's
and then they turn it back on and then it gets to summer again. Yeah. So luckily, I mean, our local fleet frequently, the heating is on when it's 40 degrees outside. They have the heaters on, which is quite lucky, really.
Are they? They're not air conditioned, are they?
Yeah, they have a thing called a window. You pull it open and you get air in it. And sometimes you shut it. That's the air conditioner I like.
That's what I like. I like the old trains as well, where you can open the door on your door
yeah,
yourself.
Put your head out the window.
I hate being bloody sort of, I don't know, how many people got their head knocked off by a train coming the other way? Very few.
Very few.
And I liked it where you had more control, because once I was on a train like that, and it stopped outside the station, and people were just getting out and walking up to the station. And I thought, well, that's far better, isn't it? It's stuck outside. But
that's the thing. That's the thing that gets me with all this health and safety crap. This is one of the reasons why I get so pissed off. Like the likes of Crewe, for example, Crewe station. They put a yellow line down, and there's a sign that says trains pass here 125 miles an hour. And I think, well, that's bullshit for a start off, because the middle lines are 70, and if any train's doing 125 up the platform, I hope the driver gets sacked because he should be doing 40. But years ago, when it was all slam door stock, I've seen footage where they arrive at Fenchurch Street and Liverpool Street, and the doors are open. The train's doing 40 miles an hour. The doors all swing open. No one says anything then. You think, well, the modern trains are all automatic doors, so what's the frigging problem with me standing over the yellow line? As long as I'm not right on the end of the platform,
honestly,
what difference does it make?
People were more responsible, and they don't want people telling you what to do and not what to do. This is what gets me: these people telling you what to do and what you can't. Piss off, you know. I don't like being told what to do and what not to do, especially by idiots. Now, the Jollyman says you can freeze water in a bottle top with moonlight under a magnifying glass. Didn't know that. Yeah. 2 great lights, one for day, one for night. Moon's photopic spectrum is completely different, not a reflection.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of us know what the moon actually is, but I do think that the moon produces colder air, and I do think the moon is responsible for. We do get clear nights where we get frosts, but I think the moon lowers the temperature even more.
I agree with you. I mean, we got frost tonight, I think.
And if you've got your car, if it's a moon out there, moon tonight, if you've got your car parked behind, for example, your house, where the moonlight can't get to it, in theory, your car probably won't be covered in frost. because I think it's the moon that causes the much lower temperatures.
Yeah,
A bit like because we were talking about this. I know we were saying about that if frost is to do with a clear sky, then we should have a blanket whiteout. So in theory, the shade at night should be colder than the open spaces. So an open space, a field, for example, and some trees. In theory, under the tree, it should be colder because the shadow is colder than the outside area, like it would be when you got sunlight. If it's sunny, you seek shade because it's cooler. But that's not the case. So in winter time, especially when the moon's out, you'll get frost on the grass, but you won't get frost under the tree. And the reason is because the moonlight can't reach under the tree because it's in shadow. So
you got a very good thought there. Yes.
So the moonlight is basically doing the opposite of the sunlight. So a good example I give on that is if you've just had a rain shower and where you park your car, you've just pulled your car in, it's pissed it down the rain, the area's wet. You park your car over it, the sunlight comes out, or the sun comes out, dries your car, but underneath your car it stays wet because the sunlight can't get under there. I don't think you ever get frost underneath a car, but you get it on top of your car.
Oh, you do, and you're right. You don't get it under the car. And I'll tell you a good example of this: the desert. It could be boiling hot during the day, and actually freezing cold at night.
Yeah.
And I know who's the bloke? Was it Topo, the bloke who was, if I was a rich man? He was in the Israeli army, and he was on This Is Your Life once, and it was an Arab that saved his life because he was stuck out in the desert, and he'd have frozen to death if this Bedouin hadn't found him and took him into his camp, warmed him up, and took him back to the camp in the morning. He'd have been dead. And this was out in somewhere near Israel. And he was in doing manoeuvres or something with the Israeli army, and there he was, out in the desert, lost. As I say, sorry, I missed a gag there, didn't I?
That comment from Mike Mantis, that's a classic. That's
what's that one
about the
marriage guidance?
No, about keep away from the platform edge, or you might get sucked off.
What's a sucking force, isn't it?
Yes.
No, sucking force, yes. I like what Mike Manton said here. It says, marriage guidance in Norfolk is called related. That's because I guess I like that one, yes. But, do you remember that? Was it dueling banjos? Where they had to get this kid. Well, apparently they had a hell of a lot of problems, and I think that the bloke who acted the part of the sort of simpleton couldn't play the banjo. But, that's interesting. If I get sucked. It says here, what is it? People love to tell others what to do, like program bots. Yes, especially during that time. I got pissed off with people saying, "Do this." You really saw a negative side of people during that time. Now, the Johnnyman said, full moonlight in its shade can be 12 degrees lower.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, moonlight's definitely colder than the shade. It's definitely, it's something I've been trying to keep an eye on that with the moonlight, and I'm 99% sure that's what causes. I mean, we do get frost when the moon isn't out, but it's not as cold as it would be if the moon was out. If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Sorry, I'm just about to turn my phone off. It's dinging like buggery. Here we go.
The moon and the sun are the opposites in nature. They're the perfect balance. So you got the warmth and the cold. The sun preserves, the moon decays. It's the opposites. And if you're building a realm, if the creator, you were talking about spiritualism earlier on, I believe there is a creator, and if the creator has built this beautiful world, the moon and the sun are the perfect balance. The perfect balance of warmth and cold, light and dark, warm, cold, perfect balance for nature. Everything's in perfect nature, and it really bugs me when, like, for example, on Saturday it was peeing down all day here. And on Friday, they were busy out spraying. Now, I wish they'd stop doing that because I'd like to actually know what our real weather is. Because during the lockdowns, we had 6 months of blue sky and sunshine. There wasn't a cloud for 6 months. We didn't see any. And they weren't spraying because they couldn't, because it'd been bloody obvious. I would like to know what our real weather is here.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. They spray like buggery. But what I like here is Asperger's as Fudge said, interesting fact, the banjo player in the film Deliverance was actually a young Joe Biden.
That needs to be the fuckable theme tune.
Yes.
Not Happy Days Are Here Again. Not that.
Oh, bloody hell. No, I actually think the Harry Roy tune is the one. It's a bit on Telegram. And Patrick, of all people, pulled it there. And have you heard that Harry Roy from about early 1930s? It might be out of copyright. Might be able to play it. It's called My Girlfriend's Pussy Cat. Seriously. Yes. It's always warm and always clean.
Don't pardon the pun, but don't open with that one.
It was banned by the BBC apparently, but then the record sales shot up. Now it says here, this is Mike Mann. It says they had to use the arms of a pro banjo player to sit behind the kid so it looked like he could play the banjo. Yes, I heard that as well. Yeah, that's but that's quite a good film. That was. It was especially when they was one by one knocking off the locals, the hillbillies. But no, since Survival Steve, because I was talking about air guns and things to Survival Steve, and he said, "Look at a catapult. I've been looking into catapults, and they're more powerful in some respects than air guns. Incredibly
You just
powerful.
have to be able to do a good shot with them. That's the only thing."
Yeah, and apparently you don't hold them that way round with a V sticking upwards. You hold them sideways. That's the correct way of holding them.
Is it?
And it's only in the cartoons they do them like that, upwards. So it's sort of like that. But the real way of doing it is sideways, because you use your finger as the aiming point. So you get what the finger will be there like that with a catapult, and you aim like that, and that is the way you can get it accurate. And sometimes it is bloody accurate, because I follow, there's a couple who actually live in a tent on the internet, and there's a chap called Sam who lives in a tent, and they film their lifestyle. And this is going along with what you said about the moon. They said if you camp, always camp in the woods, never ever out in the field.
Yeah.
You'll freeze to death. In the woods, it's warmer.
Yeah.
And they moved down south. And hang on a minute, was this? Deliverance was filmed in Walsall. Come off it.
They've had the wheels off the camera there.
Bloody hell, yeah. But no, I just love countryside. I always have done. I've always yearned for countryside. I've never liked cities. And this is why I worked in London next to lots of famous tourist bits, but I never ever went in them. Just wasn't interested. London doesn't interest me. Never has done. Never will do.
I'm not interested in the tourist bits, I have to say. I mean, I appreciate a lot of the buildings now, understanding the Tartaria world. And like I said, last time I went down to London, I walked down to Marble Arch, or High Bottom Marble Arch, and just had a look at that and thought, there's no way humans built that. But for the most part, I tend to be out in the suburbs, fighting the buses and the trains, because I get fed up with the amount of people, and especially rude people, where they walk into you and don't split up and just so you can get past.
It's a filthy hole. That's right. It's a filthy hole, and I can't understand why people like views of cityscapes. I hate cityscapes. I love countryside, and this is why I've always wanted to live in the West Country, just Cornwall or Devon, as far away from people as possible. It sounds a bit,
but again, it depends where you are. I mean, Penzance, apart from there being a nice ice cream parlour there, Penzance is a bit of a dump.
Yeah.
As you've worked away, I mean, and then I suppose Devon, you got Plymouth, which is sort of the welcome to this shithole as you get across the water. But yeah, from sort of Saltash down, Truro, places like that, they're pretty parts of the world.
Oh, they are. Oh, Mark Anthony, thanks, mate. You always come up with the goods. Thank you very much. He says, Nomad Sam on YouTube is the homeless chap who lives in a tent with his dog. Yes. He doesn't tell you where he is, but I think I know where he is. Because before I think he was in Dorset, and now I think he's in the Forest of Dean. I think he is. But, it's a huge place, but very, very interesting. And how he survives the cold weather. I mean, it was -4. The last film he's done, -4. But
again, it just goes to show that if what he's saying about with regards to the moon, that because obviously if you're camping in the woods, you're in the shade, so the moonlight can't get to you.
That's right. Yeah,
it is interesting. It is interesting.
But the way this bloke survives, makes little shelters to put his wood sticks in. And he goes and collects his water and he purifies it with heating it and things like that. And the thing now is to have a tent and have tarpaulin over the top. I think Survival Steve will probably, sort of be interested in talking about that. Anyway, do you realise it's just gone 11 o'clock?
Yes, I do. I'm going to be head off here. I do apologise.
Thank you. Well, it's been a fantastic show. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you yourself for coming on. You saved the day. Tomorrow, I do not know if it's Survival Steve or the Bowler Hat Farmer that's coming on. I really don't know. I'm going to have to. I'll see if the Bowler Hat Farmer's note from his parents is good enough. To see whether we can accept it, but no, I'll have a word with him tomorrow morning and see what happens. Hang on, I can't because I haven't got his phone number. No, I'll have to send him an email or something to find out what's happening. And yes, it's been a very good evening. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone in chat. It's much appreciated. And please join the Telegram channel. Details are down here, my Telegram channel, because and also Facebook. Now, almost up to 300 members on Facebook. Almost. I'm about 3 or 4 below 300. So pump it up to 300. And also with Telegram, I could do with some more members on there. And have you got any? You're not on social media, are you, Paul?
I am on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you communicate with me on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
I was just thinking that you're talking about how many members you got. I suspect it's not as many members as Keir Starmer's had. Sorry, so I lowered the tone for you again.
And, well, Blue Road just said that chap. In other words, I watched his latest video. That's Nomad Sam, and he's brave. Yes, he's very brave. But what gets me is how he stands the cold. My godfathers. I mean, in a tent. But
I
feel the cold a lot.
I feel the cold the best. So I bought one of the blankets. Well, it wasn't the blanket that you suggested, but it was a similar.
Oh yeah,
army surplus blanket. I was actually colder with the blanket on than without it, so I've kicked it off and put my jumpers back on. It's
weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
strange. Yeah,
I can remember. I can remember my nan used to have a blanket. It was that warm. He could actually. I reckon he could put a piece of bread under it and cook it. But
that's right.
Can't get things like that in the end.
Well, I mean, Army Surplus as an ex-army bloke on YouTube, and he reckons that Army Surplus in the 70s was crap. Army equipment was crap in the 70s. So they got
that's what
in the 90s. Yeah, but that's it. Anyway, thank you everybody, and remember tomorrow night I haven't got the foggiest idea who it will be, whether it be Survival Steve or the Bowler Hat Farmer. So we'll have to work something out. I'll send him an email first thing in the morning.
50-50 chance, I guess.
50-50 chance. That's right. Yes. So we could have we could have like a gambling thing on it. Who's it going to be? Yes. And
what's the prize of a Wonder Pencil?
Wonder Pencil. That's right. Here it is. It's the
a lifetime supply of Wonder Pencils.
See, And if you're constipated, you can work it out with a pencil. So there we go. And there we go. I'm laughing at it, and I've heard it before.
Thank you to everybody in chat as well. It's a great family we have here.
We certainly have. And whatever happens, remember, have a bloody good laugh and good night. Here we go.